All heavens sign in from Naruto, Chapter 401 to 420. Chapter 401 _ In the future, sand sculptures will not come to Earth to die. Ronning opened the wormhole very fast. Although still not as cold as ice. But in this kind of simple close combat, the difference is actually not too big. But this does not mean that Ruanning's time and space technology is about to catch up with Li Yanbing. After all, the role of spatio-temporal genes is not just for speed. Ronning opened the wormhole to attack. But Angel Leng was Ruanning's disciple after all, and she knew Ruanning's tactics very well. So, Angel Leng immediately turned around and placed the Sword of Flames in front of him. Blocked Ruanning's blow. Why don't you go? Are you trying to drag me down by staying here? You two weaklings. The angel rose from the ground and broke through the roof of the Moonbuck Cafe, and at the same time created a chance for Angel Yishin and Angel Lingxi to escape. Lingxi and Yishin looked at each other. Although their cold sister does not speak very nicely. But they also knew that what the angel said coldly was not wrong. A master of the rank like Ronning. There is no way the two of them can fight. Staying around will only be a cold distraction for the angels. Might as well go to the rescue. Sister Leng, you must persevere. We will go to the Shangbing Company for support. You must persevere until we come back. Angel Lingxi rose into the sky and left Beijixing with Yishin. In Lingxi's view, if you want to deal with a high-level angel like Ronning, you can only ask the experts of the Shangbing Company to help. Hee, I didn't expect you to take good care of your minion soldiers, but it's useless. I also have men, and he will take care of these two silly and sweet ones. Ronning smiled lightly. He swayed coldly with the angel again. Have to say, a master is a master. Although Angel Leng has honed a very good combat experience. But facing Ronning, she still fell short. According to the script, Angel Leng will be hit by Ronning next. Then Angel Ronning will use her wormhole decomposition technology to decompose all the angel super genes in Angel Leng's body to death. But the script of this world has changed since the arrival of the Night Wind. So, at the moment when Ronning was about to kill Angel Leng, Yifeng with Li Yanbing and Angel Yan suddenly appeared in front of Angel Leng. Cold, are you all right? Angel Yan lifted Angel Leng, frowned at the wound on her abdomen. Angel Yan, you actually got mixed up with the Devil's King and Queen. What do you want to do? I don't need your help. Angel Leng struggled to break free from Angel Yan's hands. But she was seriously injured after all. Then Angel Leng suddenly became weak in his calf. Accidentally fell into Yifeng's warm and firm embrace. This scene made Yifeng quite speechless. What to do? How come there are girls who come to him to give him a hug at every turn? What the hell is going on in this world? Are you targeting someone at night? Ronning looked at the three people in front of him. A rather solemn look finally leaked out on his face. Hey, Angel Yan, you little bitch got mixed up with Li Yanbing. Are you going to give Yifeng a set of ice and fire with Li Yanbing? Ronning looked at Angel Yan and Li Yanbing, said sarcastically. But Ruanning's words naturally caused Angel Yan's extreme discomfort. She was about to talk to Ronning in respect. But Li Yanbing reacted faster than Angel Yan, and immediately scolded. Fog grass. What are you beeping in front of the old lady with your special code? Like the ice and fire, the old lady herself is enough, and you also use the special code to ask Angel Yan for help. Li Yanbing was really angry this time. After all, who are you looking down on? Although she, Li Yanbing, and Chiangwei have also adopted a team battle mode. But, in all fairness, she can do all kinds of knowledge points by herself. No assistance needed at all. Especially without Angel Yan to help her. Then, Yifeng Yan saw that the scene was about to become chaotic. The style of painting is also starting to deviate. He decided to give a little correction. Then, Yifeng put Angel Lengxian on a table and asked her to lie down there first, so that the wound would not continue to expand. Then, Yifeng looked at Ronning impatiently and said, "Hurry up and explain your last words, we are in a hurry and we don't have time to play with you." There's nothing wrong with what Yifeng said. After all, he was in a hurry to go to Styx to find Carl to sign in. How can you be interested in swinging with Ronning here? Even though Ronning was pretty after taking off her makeup. But Yifeng was still ready for a second. Humph. Demon King Yifeng. Is your arrogant and domineering attitude really enough? Do you really think that you can be presumptuous in front of the old lady if you hug Liangbing's big chong legs? Tell you. I am the great god of the same era as your family, Lianbing. Ronning narrowed his eyes slightly. The purple dark energy on his body began to transpiration. Although the combat power of the trio in front of them is quite against the sky. But Ruanning's time and space genes are also excellent. She has always had this confidence. Throughout the known universe. Except for Queen Lianbing and Geisha, it is her Ronning who has the strongest time and space genes. Even Hexie is not as good as her. So, Ronning always felt that even if she lost, she could still be invincible. However, just as Ruanning's voice fell, a silvery white breath instantly permeated out. Absolute zero domain launch. Even time and space are frozen. Ronning was caught off guard and was immediately frozen into an ice sculpture by Yifeng's absolute 0-degree cold air. Then, Yifeng pulled out the ghost, aiming at Ronning who was frozen into an ice sculpture. He was about to say, "Shoot her, Goosh." But Yifeng was afraid of being misunderstood that he was driving. Then, Yifeng touched his chin and said, "Lang Bing, let Heifeng wrap her in sand and send it to the North Star Museum to warn all races in the starry sky that sand sculptures like this should not come to Earth to find death in the future." ... Outside the North Star, Angel Lingxi and Angel Yishan fell from the sky to the ground, scarred all over. At this moment, Angel Yishan has closed his eyes. Guess he fainted. Angel Lingxi was planning to lift Yishan up and take her to escape. But this time, a silver light rushed straight from the sky and penetrated the body of Angel Lingxi. Pinned her to an old silver apricot tree that only 3 people could hug. What nailed Lingxi to the tree was an old-fashioned angel's sword, which was the weapon of the scum who was chasing them. Lingxi made a painful sound. Hot blood ran down the corners of his mouth. "Yo yo yo, the vitality of your little angel sister is really tenacious, even this is not dead." A voice full of she-males fell. Tianjia Kunpeng landed in front of Angel Lingxi. He fiddled with the orchid finger, looked up and down Lingxi, and then said in a demonic spirit, "It's pretty good looking, but it's a pity, anyone who looks better than others will have to die." Chapter 402 Please, give me 8 paragraphs. Angel Lingxi spit out a mouthful of blood directly by the she-male in front of him. Her spirit has begun to be in a trance. "But," Angel Lingxi said bravely and stubbornly, "you damned scum. You dare to attack the angel, Queen Yan will never let you go." "Hee hee. My sweet little sister. Do you really expect that Angel Yan will lead you to come back? Angel Yan is not worthy to carry shoes for others. After all, the order of my heavenly palace, Wang Wai, is the future of this universe. Any creature that dares to resist my Wang Wai, all have to die." The more Tianjia Kunpeng spoke, the more excited he became, the more he spoke, and the orchid fingers danced happily. But, at this time, a thunderstorm appeared in the sky. Angel Yan Yifeng and Liangbing appeared together in front of Tianjia Kunpeng. Yifeng frowned and glanced at him, then turned his face away, and said in disgust, "Lang Bing, I'm allergic to such a she-male. You can deal with him, whether it's divided into 8 sections or given to Haifeng as a toy. In short, let him disappear before my eyes as soon as possible." "Hee hee, no problem, this toy is very interesting, Haifeng must be very happy." Lianbing smiled lightly. 5 fingers slammed in the direction of Kunpeng. 5 silver-white dark silver chains suddenly protruded from Lianbing's fingertips. Tai Tianja Kunpeng Wuhua Da. What the hell is the order of the heavenly palace? You have to die, and the order of the harem of our devil male king will be the mainstream of the universe in the future. Lang Bing smiled evilly. The bound Tianja Kunpeng was given to the Black Wind Demon to enjoy. In the next period of time, Angel Yan reconvened the angel warriors who were left here on Earth. Although Angel Leng is still not convinced. But she was injured after all. There's nothing to resist. Can only be resigned. Juxia conference room. Yi Feng, Lian Bing, Angel Yan is now the third generation of gods, and it is not an easy thing to restore the energy in her body. If she really doesn't want to connect with Demon One, then she can only figure out a way on her own. Du Kao touched his chin, showing a dignified look. Although Yi Feng had already taken control of the demon, he had also successfully wiped out the gluttonous gluttons. But if Angel Darknet can't recover as soon as possible, the righteous order established by that angel will soon collapse. The entire universe might be thrown into chaos. So, consider the big picture. Du Kao felt that he should assist Angel Yan to return to normal as soon as possible. You Earth. Lian Bing smiled inadvertently and said. It's not that I want to offend on purpose, just with your current level of technology, it's impossible to charge a divine body like Angel Yan at all. The Earth's use of energy today is very inefficient. Although China can already mine dark energy. But Earth is not a dark energy mine. There is not much dark energy that Huasha can collect. The quality is not very pure. And it has to be left to the Shangbing Company as a guarantee, and there is no way to use it to restore Angel Yan. I don't care, I definitely won't connect with Devil One anyway. Angel Yan crossed Erlang's legs and said disdainfully. But anyway, if you want to use the Angel's Worm Bridge, you have to help me recover my strength, otherwise I can only stay on Earth and recover slowly. Although Angel Yan is also eager to restore Angel Darknet. But she still couldn't get past that line of defense in her heart. Angel Yan will not go to the Demon One for data docking. If dark energy doesn't work, consider stellar energy. Yi Feng, who has not spoken much because of the serious shortage of serious knowledge reserves, finally made his valuable suggestion. After all, in the original plot, Pan Zhen used a special stellar energy pill made by a scorching sun to help Angel Yan regain his divine power. Night Wind. I know you can drive stellar energy. But your drive for stellar energy is too inefficient. The energy drawn is not pure enough. There is still a big gap compared to Lena. Lian Bing shook his head. Although Yi Feng can establish a connection channel with stars like Reina, draw energy directly from the stars. But Yefeng's stellar energy drive technology is only a grandmaster level after all. The effect can only be said to be relatively general. Of course, the night wind can also purify the stellar energy it draws by chakra purification. However, the effect of this artificial secondary purification is limited after all. Still have to use the original. And if you want to charge a divine body of Angel Yan's level, you must use extremely pure energy. This is also why there must be a large celestial body behind the gods. Otherwise, just like Ronning and Hua Yi, it has accumulated pure dark energy in the body through a lot of time. Well, Yan, you give me a night, I'll try it out, maybe I can find a solution. Yi Feng calmly analyzed and thought for a while. Then he looked at Angel Yan with a sincere look on his face. Isn't that the skill level is not enough? Give me one night. Explode it. What if someone else was lucky enough to explode Reina's sunlight? I'll give you a night for anything. What do you want? Angel Yangziu frowned, looking at Yi Feng with a wary expression. Now, Angel Yan's body is not strong enough. Basically it is difficult to resist the night wind. Hard to do. Yi Feng is preparing to do something terrifying. Then, in the face of the doubts of this room full of people, Yi Feng could only helplessly shrug. Can you guys not think that someone is driving at night? I'm obviously a very serious person, okay? Why do you always like to see me with tinted glasses? The world is so wonderful. And your thoughts are so wonderful. I don't understand. ... Night. After Yifeng arranged the girls properly, he opened a quiet little room on Demon 1 by himself, sitting cross-legged into the projection space. Let's go straight to the powerful Reina. Isn't that an artistic star? Yifeng has made up his mind. He was going to kill Reina, who is full of power overnight. Actually, Yifeng also tried to use Horaitian to interrupt skills at the beginning. But that didn't work. Reina's move exploded too quickly. Yifeng couldn't stop Reina from releasing Pi Daxing. And the weaker Reina, although it is easier to fight, can't burst out anything useful. So, Yifeng had long since given up on Reina's projection. But there is no way now. In order to complete this task, Yifeng could only stretch his claws towards Reina again. Then, Yifeng activated Reina's full power projection. Really? After the countdown is over, Reina exploded on the spot without even shouting a slogan. Just as crispy as the little raccoon crispy noodles. Chapter 403 Crazy Dark Demon. Boom. Accompanied by a terrifying explosion, Yifeng's body was torn apart by Lena's Pi Daxing into sacred atoms. Then, start all over again. Quote ? Yifeng touched his mind intuitively. Calm thinking and a little analysis. Yes. Someone in the night has been upgraded to a sacred body. The role of the sacred body is not only in that aspect. The divine atom is immortal. Blow it up. It doesn't mean he's dead. Really. After Lena blew herself into Momo on the trial ground, the system made a cold and ruthless sound. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully challenging Reina's projection, and get the reward, break the shield of Akatsuki. Powerful. After Yifeng received the battle reward, his face finally showed a look of incomparable relief. He finally exploded something serious from Reina. Although this broken Akatsuki shield is useless against Yifeng, but it's more meaningful than exploding some ape-flavored series, right? Then, Yifeng is preparing to start the second battle. But he hesitated temporarily. Although the battle in the projection will not cause real damage to the night wind. But those feelings are objective. The fried taste is not very pleasant. Think about it. Yifeng decided to find Heifeng first. ... Outside the black wind room, Yifeng listened to the terrifying screams coming from inside. Fell into contemplation. Then, he knocked on the door. Dang dang. Who is it? Come to me so late, what are you doing? Heifeng was very unhappy and opened the door. But when Heifeng saw that the person who came to him was Yifeng, his face softened a bit. After all, Heifeng didn't like Pippi being beaten. Yifeng glanced at Heifeng's room inadvertently from the corner of his eye. Tisk tisk. As expected of the Black Wind Demon, the scumbag Kunpeng was about to bloom in his hands. Ah, it's the male king. Do you have anything to do with me? Heifeng closed the door with embarrassment on his face, then stretched out his right hand, as if to shake hands with Yifeng. But Yifeng shook his head in disgust and refused. What are you holding on your hands that you don't count? Nausea. Heifeng, do you have any black technology that can make people feel no pain temporarily? Yifeng asked about business. Ah, Heifeng thought for a while, then nodded and said, yes. We demons have a medicine that can temporarily disable pain neurons. Our Neodymium King has to use it for a few days every month, and there are no side effects at all. Very good. Get me some of this medicine, I'll use it tonight. Yifeng nodded in satisfaction. The technology side really has the benefits of the technology side. The fantasy side still needs to communicate and complement the technology side frequently. Just like what he and Lian Bing often do now. Ah, this. I happen to have a bottle here, so how many can I get for you? Heifeng asked while rubbing the back of his head. How can you get a few? Give me 3,000 first, and when you're ready, send them directly to my small room. Nightwind shrugged. After all, a Pi Star has to use one. With Yifeng's confidence in the drop rate of his system, it is estimated that no serious things will come out of 3,000 times. Ah, so much. What are you trying to play? Heifeng showed a very surprised look. Black Wind Demon feels that his gameplay is already very good. How? Does the king have a better way to play? Don't talk nonsense, hurry up and send it to me, or I want you to look good. By the way, remember to wash your hands first. Yifeng glared at Heifeng. Are you free to ask about leadership matters? Out of points. Then. It didn't take long for Yifeng to get 3,000 small blue pills. Then. He had another real sleepless night. Boom, boom, boom. All kinds of explosions resounded unconsciously. The night wind is about to feel numb. But in the end, he finally got his wish and got a stellar energy drive technology ultimate skill. Next. Knight Kazahana took a day. He successfully completed the docking with Angel Yan in a special posture, and then successfully borrowed the power of the sun to restore the strength of the whole body for Angel Yan. Angel Darknet is finally back online. The angels of the entire known universe cheered. Hexie, who is far away in Angel Nebula, also smiled. She is grateful for Angel Yan's efforts. Actually, of course, the strength of Hexie can also replace Angel Yan to restart the Angel Darknet. But Geisha specified that Angel Yan would take over the entire Angel Legion. Later, Angel Yan may be the woman who is going to become the king of angels. Hexie naturally wanted to test her. She must at least be able to restore the Angel Darknet, right? Yifeng, although I don't really want to say thank you to the devil, but I really thank you this time. I hope you can really lead the devil on a sunny avenue in the future. Angel Yan looked at Yifeng on Demon 1. The mood is very complicated. Through the few days she stayed on Earth, she had learned a lot about demons. As the night wind said. Angel Yan after sinking his heart. She really found that the demon was different from the demon she had imagined before. Is it? Is that why Queen Geisha asked them not to avenge the demons? Could this be the reason why Hexie said he will be happy in the future? Night Wind. What is he going to do? But coming to Japan is long. Angel Yan believes she will understand in the future. ... Styx Galaxy. In some barren land with no starlight at all. A small space station is ups and downs here. It didn't take long. A small aircraft flew out from a large worm bridge next to the space station. The vehicle lands behind the entrance to the space station. The hatch is open. Howl, the leader of the giant wolf civilization, came out. Hey, it's really bloody moldy, and it's actually such a foolish task. Howl sighed. Standing outside the door of the space station, his face was full of depression. Boss, this is all gluttonous. If they hadn't been wiped out, we wouldn't have used such a dangerous mission. The adjutant on Howl's left complained. Isn't it? Although God Snow said that my god Carl has already dealt with this galaxy, and this whole small galaxy does not have any dark energy and light energy, I still feel a little hairy in my heart. Howl's the adjutant on the right side. Who said no? After all, people are the light of the sun. If we don't know where Krypton gets to gold, and then blow us up, then we will be too wronged. Okay, it's already at the door anyway, so don't linger here, just go in. Howl shook his head. Open the door. Chapter 404 Nightwind's sign in reward. Inside the space station, it was Lena, who Yifeng wanted to find. Carl put Reina under house arrest here. And all the energy in the surrounding environment that can be used by Reina is extracted. The fear is that Reina blows up the space station and escapes. Subsequently, Howl took his men through a long alloy passage. Finally came to the special room where Reina was imprisoned. He stood outside the mechanical gate made of special materials. Double check. Boss, the data inside is all normal, do you want to open the door? Howl's adjutant asked. Okay, open the door. Howl ordered. Subsequently, the mechanical door opened. The room used to imprison Reina was not too big. In the middle is a circular water prison made of special materials. Water prison center. Reina's long hair fluttered. His face was grim. Except for 3 important parts. There is almost no thread on his body. Her graceful figure and exquisite curves. It was so generously presented in the eyes of Howl's 3 giant werewolves. No way. Reina's hands and feet were bound by 4 electric currents like chains. Full of mischief. Goddess Reina. You must not be angry. The great god Snow originally said that he wanted to kill you. Because he's worried that you can drive fusion with some weird clothing material or something. Blow up this place. But Howl, is a person who speaks of martial virtues, so, as a respect for your blazing sun civilization, and also as a respect for your Kamigawa biological moral values, I strongly urge them to keep these 2 pieces of clothing for you. So, Goddess Reina, you must not be angry with me. To be frank, Howl was not interested in such Reina at all. After all, like Reina with a slippery body, no hunchback at all, with such long hair, and not even Yuhi-colored eyes. For Howl, it's just plain ugly. Their giant werewolf was not interested at all. At this time, Reina looked at them blankly. Although nothing shows up. But my heart is full of anger. She is God. The main god of the blazing sun civilization. Reina looked at other people's faces in the blazing sun, and she was able to endure these things. She is still young after all. It is normal for a god who has reached a high position at a young age to be targeted by others. But Carl used her to destroy the holy geisha. And imprisoned her in such a humiliating place in this ghost place. How could she not be angry? It's a pity that she has no power in her body now. There is also no energy source around which she can draw energy. Reina's whole body is now weak. No resistance. This is why the giant werewolf does not know the beauty of her Dorena. If this were to be replaced by some old shit from Earth. It is estimated that her Reina has already fallen into a doomed situation. You guys handle the space here very well. I really can't blow you up, but what can you do with me? Lena looked at Howl and asked coldly. Goddess Reina. We can't do anything about you. We won't do anything to you either. We just simply want to get the core technology of the sun-driven stars from you. We don't want to hurt you. I don't even want to touch Kamigawa's moral bottom line. Hope you can understand. Howl swallowed. Although Carl broke through Reina's control system. Geisha with Reina. But after that, the defense function at the bottom of Reina's gene was automatically activated. Carl's desire to further explore the secrets of Reina's divine body was completely unsuccessful. Although with Carl's technology plus the ability of a large clock. Just give Carl enough time. Carl must be able to completely decipher the data of Reina's divine body. But after all, Lena is the main god of the blazing sun civilization. It is impossible for the Sunman to leave Carl so much time. So, he needs to use other methods to get Reina as soon as possible. Howl continued. Goddess Lena, as long as you are willing to stop the underlying defense system of sunlight, let my god Carl deeply connect to your divine body. We can let you go back soon. You can go wherever you want, we will never stop you. Want to connect deeply with me? Go back and tell your fart god Carl. Don't let him even think about it. He doesn't even have the qualifications to smell the old lady's fart. Let him die. Reina bit Kiba and looked at Howl gnashing her teeth. Did you say let me turn off the firewall and I'll turn it off? Do you really think her Dorena is a 3-year-old child? She's only in secondary school. Not really too, okay. Goddess Rena, if you keep sticking to this attitude, then there is nothing we can do. The only thing we can do is give you some proper treatment. Howell sighed again. But he had already expected this result. But if the other party is not a brain dead, they will definitely not cooperate with them like this. Then, he pressed a button. The Yang-style electric shock therapy started suddenly. Reina in the water prison let out a terrifying scream. ... Just when Reina accepted these unfair treatment. Yifeng has also been led by Li Yanbing. Through the Angel Insect Bridge successfully arrived at Huang Izumi Star's Dead Song Academy. Although the style of the devil is not so beautiful. But Devil One's environment is still very unique. Which is like Carl here. Desolation is everywhere. Disgusting. Tisk tisk tisk, it's a spooky place, and Carl is such a jerk. Li Yanbing couldn't help shrinking into Yifeng's arms and fought a cold war. That's right. This moment. Her demon queen, Morgana, has become a soft girl who can't even unscrew the cap of the Izumi water bottle. Let's go, it's important to do business first. Yifeng shook his head. He walked into the Dead Song Academy with Li Yanbing and Heifeng. And at the same time, the super powerful sign-in system in Yifeng's mind also successfully activated the sign-in countdown for this mission. The countdown will soon end. The system also sent this sign-in reward on time. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and getting a reward, Pengbu Washuang. After the reward arrives, that familiar indescribable force once again did something familiar and indescribable to Yifeng. Then, Yifeng's divine body has been upgraded again. Huh. Pengbu Washuang. What version of the god body is this? Is it the 5th generation god body? Or what? Yifeng felt the changes in the divine body and fell into contemplation. According to the text description, the biggest feature of Pengbu Washuang is that it can open a special state called Washuang. Unparalleled open. All aspects of Yifeng's attributes will skyrocket. Then the sage mode from the ninja world. It can be said. In front of Washuang, the fairy is a younger brother. And, except for the special state of Washuang, Pengbu Washuang also made Yifeng's physical fitness even more awesome. Don't say anything else. Waist strength has indeed increased. But, Yifeng didn't have time to experience the changes that Pengbu Washuang brought him. Can only talk about it later. Chapter 405_Calm the God of Death. The three Yifeng appeared. Carl also walked out of the Dead Song Academy with his great god Snow, seemingly indifferent. As soon as you go out, Carl saw the cold ice that was snuggling against Yifeng. Yifeng's hands are still very dishonest. This made the jealous fire in Carl's heart burn quickly. He couldn't understand why Li Yanbing became what he is now. But, Carl is death. He still forcibly suppressed this anger. Li Yanbing, I don't understand, why would you choose a man like him? How old is he? What science does he understand? What does he understand about the universe? Does he understand you? Carl looked at Li Yanbing and shook his head, and instantly threw several questions. Although he lost cold ice. But, Carl still wanted to ask why. Why he Carl Sachs would be the loser in this relationship. But, society, Yui's sister, Renmei Lu Zie. Is she going to talk to Carl about all these okay questions? The night wind is already very strong. Li Yanbing let out a wicked smile, then held Yifeng's arm enthusiastically, and said softly. Carl, you don't understand. After all, you are just an illusion, a boyish illusion. Li Yanbing's voice fell. Carl was immediately stunned on the spot. Just imagine. An excellent man who had been a boy for more than 30,000 years heard his goddess say such remarks in front of him. What does that feel like? Can it crash? How can that be possible? So, this moment, Carl's mentality is finally unable to maintain stability. His eyes became indifferent. But he still didn't explode. Because in Carl's view, in front of the void, those gossips don't make any sense at all. All Carl was after was an idea. He originally wanted to bring Li Yanbing to Sublime together to pursue the great ideal of becoming a void creature. But now, his pure heart was completely cold. Completely relieved. A man who has completely lost interest in women is very scary. Okay, if that's the case, what are you doing here in Styx? I don't welcome people like you. Carl looked at Yifeng coldly. The voice is indifferent. Carl, don't get so excited. I don't actually see you as a villain, so before we talk about serious things, why don't we make a pot of yuhi tea? Yifeng smiled faintly. Passed by Carl without hesitation. Taking care of himself, he led people into the interior of Dead Song Academy. The internal structure of the Dead Song Academy was much the same as Yifeng's impression. There is darkness everywhere. Style is hard to describe. And on the opposite wall from Carl's bachelor desk, there is a portrait of Li Yanbing when she was a tutor at the super seminary. At that time, the cold ice was still very pure. Very different from now. I said, Carl, why are you hanging the picture of the old lady here? You don't want to twist the old lady in front of the picture, right? It's too easy. Li Yanbing frowned. There was an unhappy look on his face. Li Yanbing is right, how can you hang the portrait of my woman here casually? After Yifeng finished speaking, he raised Yang's hand. Burned the portrait of Carl hanging directly on the wall. See Yifeng's rude behavior. Carl clenched his fists. Yifeng's behavior was about to touch his bottom line. But Carl still decided to endure first. After all, he was a scholar, not a warrior. Try not to choose to do it when you can beat. Subsequently, the two sides walked to the living room in an extremely awkward atmosphere. Take your seat. Yuhi tea from the system space. Handed the first cup of tea to Carl. No need, I'm an academic and never drink this stuff because it only affects the speed of my thinking. Carl disdainfully rejected Yifeng's kindness. To this, Yifeng didn't particularly care. After all, there are not many people who like drinking tea like him. Then, Yifeng poured out the first cup of water used to wash the tea leaves. Opened the jug. Added half a jug of wine to it. Then drank it up. And then, Yifeng looked at Carl very kindly and asked. Carl, Lena is in your hands, right? Hand her over, or I'll destroy your big clock so you can never study the void again. Hey, Yifeng, don't be too presumptuous. This is the river Styx. After being provoked by Yifeng one after another, Carl finally stood up angrily, staring at Yifeng and said. Besides, do you think the big clock can be destroyed so easily? Ignorance. The big clock is a computing cloud that can simulate the entire universe. Made by God. How can it be destroyed so easily? But Carl didn't like this feeling of being threatened. What's wrong with Styx? If you refuse to hand over Reina, I'll burn your Dead Song Academy first, so that you can't rest in Styx. Yifeng kindly reminded Carl, let him stop floating like this, it's nothing benefit. Carl, be obedient, let Reina go, don't make a mistake, unless you think Styx can withstand the wrath of the three major civilizations, the devil, the sun, and the angel. Li Yanbing picked up the corner of her mouth, showing a sarcastic look. Although Geisha did not let the angel take revenge on Carl. But if the devil and the sun attack Styx because of Reina, angels will never stand idly by. Angel Yan had long wanted to kill Carl himself. All she lacks is an opportunity. Then, Carl thought calmly and analyzed it a little, then silently farted, weighed the pros and cons, and sat down again. Yes. I admit. The goddess of the sun star, Reina, is indeed in the river Styx. The giant wolf civilization used some unfriendly means to keep her here. I am deeply sorry for that. But I did this only so that the Master's technology that drives the stars can be used to decipher the ultimate fear. This makes sense for the entire universe. Even if you do not understand the void, can't stop me from bringing progress to this universe. Carl's voice was full of arrogance. Many people think that the ultimate villain in the super seminary world is the death god Carl. But, although Carl killed countless people, he also destroyed the justice of the angels, throwing the entire known universe into chaotic misery. But who's to say pain is wrong? Just like for children, eating snacks, playing games, and not studying are the happiest things for them. But adults deprive them of these rights. Let them fall into the endless misery of their studies. But is this right or wrong? Is it wrong to kill? As omnivorous creatures, aren't the pigs, dogs, cattle and sheep that humans eat all the product of killing? Is cruelty just wrong? Where did the milk come from? Isn't it cruel for human beings to do things to cows in order to allow themselves to obtain rich nutrition? So, what is right? What is wrong? It just depends on their respective camps. Chapter 406 _ There must be a road in front of the mountain. Carl's dream is to meet the void. Let the highly intelligent beings in the void come to this backward and ignorant known world. Let the void creatures recognize their world. Carl believes that this is the only way to advance the known universe. So, Carl is not strictly a villain either. You say I don't understand the void. Yifeng heard Carl say such words. I couldn't help laughing. Wait until Yifeng has gathered all Sam Ramlam together one day. He has gathered the supreme gods of the super seminary. What else did Yifeng know about the void? But Yifeng didn't intend to explain anything to Carl. He raised his hand, burned Carl's phantom body, and said disdainfully, I'm not interested in any of your void theories, I only care about Lena's safety. If anything goes wrong with her, you'll all be buried with her. Yifeng didn't know if he would face the ultimate fear in the future. But if he can't even handle the ultimate fear, Knuckles' research is even less meaningful. Earth people, arrogant, how dare you be so presumptuous in front of my god Carl. Carl has a mild temper though. But Snow under him was different. Snow has been holding back since Yifeng appeared. Up to now, he finally couldn't take it anymore. As the saying goes, there is no need to bear it any longer. Snow Great God's voice fell. The body trembled in vain. A thick mist filled with the aura of calamity gushed out fiercely from a certain part of his body. Yifeng took a look. This is probably because he followed Carl and was smoked by farts for a long time, so he obtained this divine power. Then, Yifeng pointed in the direction of Snow. The cold air with absolute 0 degrees directly condensed into a frost dragon in the air. Pounced towards Snow. Snow let out a cold snort upon seeing this. He pushed the fog to ultimate, turned it into a skull, and bit Yifeng's ice dragon in one bite. Then, the picture suddenly became weird. But Snow is at a disadvantage though. But it wouldn't be directly killed by Yifeng. He controlled the skull with a big mouth and kept swallowing. It seems that he wants to use this method to destroy the frost dragon of Yifeng. Oh, what do you mean by these coquettish gestures? I mean, my ice dragon can't kill you all at once. Then, the night wind is unparalleled in seconds. Cut out at the same time. The terrifying sword force wrapped in the icy demonic energy that was so cold that it instantly devastated Snow's skeleton face. And frozen Snow. Click. The night wind closed the knife. Snow turned into a ball of sand ice and shattered under Carl's feet. Tushin preaching is so simple and enjoyable. Snow. Carl saw that Snow was killed by Yifeng. I was furious in my heart. But Snow is the third generation of gods. He was killed in a single face-to-face. How is this possible? How did the night wind do it? What kind of black technology is this? Carl. Your phantom is really interesting. I can't kill you and you can't help me. So, don't just waste it all here. You might as well just let Reina go. Otherwise, I could play with you all day like this. Yi Feng's voice fell. He raised his hand again. Carl's phantom body was burned again by Yi Feng's fire. Carl himself wasn't hurt in any way, though. But go on like this. Carl is still doing shitty scientific research. He might end up being pissed to death. Okay, I can give Lena back to you. But I hope you can leave Styx as soon as possible. Styx doesn't welcome savages like you. Carl looked at Yi Feng angrily. Carl is immortal. But he is not a god of battle after all. Carl felt that he still needed to plan carefully before he could deal with monsters like Yi Feng. Then, Carl arranged for Howl to hand over the unconscious Reina to Yi Feng. Wait until Carl completely confirms that Devil One has left the Styx. He looked at Howl with flickering eyes and said, "Go to Liang in person for me and send me a message to Pan Zhen of Liang Star." ... On the way home, He Feng let out a strange smile. If it weren't for Yi Feng, he would have gotten used to it. It is estimated that he easily mistaken the Black Wind Demon for the villain and dealt with it. Night King, isn't this Carl too cowardly? You burn his phantom body and kill his subordinates, so he really only dares to fart. The Black Wind is in a good mood. He had long wanted to see Carl being slapped in the face. Today, he finally got his wish. Hai Feng, don't float, Carl is not a person who gives up easily. He released Lena back so happily this time, and he may have a big conspiracy next. Lian Bing looked at Yi Yi with a solemn expression. Feng, reminded, don't forget his trick against Geisha. Carl's insidious and cunning cold ice has already seen it. Even Geisha was yawned by Carl. The ghost knows if he will use the same trick to deal with Yi Feng. It's okay, the moves Carl used against Geisha didn't work for me. Nightwind shrugged. He now has the ultimate rank stellar energy control technology. Even if Carl did a supernova explosion for Yi Feng could completely stop the supernova explosion at the last minute. As for how to cut off the link between itself and other dimensions, Yi Feng felt that the car must have a way to the front of the mountain. After all, his system can solve many of his needs. It didn't take long. Reina finally woke up. Her first reaction when she woke up was to let out a scream. It can be seen that Lena was tortured a lot by Howl, a guy who didn't understand Lian Xiangxiu. Reina, it's me, don't worry, you're safe. Yi Feng's voice gently took Reina into his arms. Soothe her emotions. Reina heard Yi Feng's familiar voice. Feel the warm chest of the night wind. She collapsed all at once. Before that, Reina can barely maintain the bottom line of her goddess. But now it's different. When a woman has a strong support, she will become vulnerable. These days, the inhumane treatment Reina suffered caused her too much pain, and she wanted to vent it all now. Then, Reina cried hysterically. Yi Feng didn't stop her, and continued to comfort her. Finally, wait until Reina has vented her emotions. She finally noticed the demon beside Yi Feng. Yi Feng, why are the demons here? Are we caught by the demons? Lena frowned and shrank into Yi Feng's arms. Reina is still vulnerable. No divine power. You have to go back and make up for it later. Don't worry, the demon army has now become my subordinate, and I am now the king of demons. Yi Feng smiled faintly. He also took Liang Bing into his arms, proving his identity as the Demon King to Reina in a unique way. Chapter 407 _ It's time to experience the magic of unparalleled. What the hell is going on here? Reina was shocked. Morgana, the dignified Demon King. She actually did such a thing in Yi Feng's arms. How is this possible? This is about to destroy Reina's 3 views. Then, Yi Feng explained to Reina in detail what happened after she was captured by Carl. After listening to this little story, Reina fell silent again. Reina was cracked by Carl because of the control of the divine body. So, she was controlled by Carl and destroyed Geisha's sacred body. It stands to reason that she is also a victim. But this incident still made Reina extremely ashamed. Because people used to say that her Dorena was bad luck or a natural disaster. She is still not convinced. But now Carl is using her natural disaster to destroy the King of Angels. The universe is about to fall into chaos. So Reina felt that she might not be able to return to the Sunstar anymore. Otherwise, I am afraid that I will be killed by those people again. But after Yifeng learned about Lena's worries, he comforted him indifferently. Don't think so much, you are the main god of Liyang. In the future, whoever dares to disrespect you from Liyang, I will help you beat them. Yifeng's attitude has been very clear. He plans to help Lena help Liyang divine power in the future. After all, Yifeng now not only has the most powerful divine body in the entire known universe. It also has the most advanced large flagship, the Demon One. It also has ultimate level stellar drive technology. Hardware and software are top-notch. The Night Wind is not false at all. Not to mention, Reina is indeed the main god of the Blazing Sun civilization. She was indeed treated unfairly in Liyang. Nightwind is Reina's ally. Going to help her support the divine right is also considered a famous teacher. No one can say anything more. And Angel Yan has always suspected that Pan Zhen colluded with Carl. By the time, Yifeng believed that the angels would also put pressure on the Blazing Sun. So, Pan Zhen, the regent who has been hiding behind the whole incident from beginning to end, should also return the divine power in his hands to Lena. Hear Yifeng's words. Reina was moved to tears. She came to Earth in search of a companion who could help her. Now, she finally found it. Then, Reina's favorability for Yifeng also reached the 87-point mark. Then, Yifeng suddenly remembered the reward for his sign in this time. Ah! Pengu has no twins. It's time to take a closer look at what it's like to be unparalleled. Then, the way back to Earth is long. But it's not hard to live with someone by your side. The hard part is that those who eat melons can only listen to the sound outside, but cannot see the details. ... Just when Yifeng took Lena and Li Yanbing to drive a spaceship in the universe. Angel Yan has also successfully returned to the Angel Nebula with her angel ladies and sisters. At this time, on an unremarkable asteroid in the Angel Nebula, Angel Yan is trapped in a spherical cage made up of the sun, Madara. Yao Madara is extremely high. Although it has not melted Angel Yan's body. Silver armor Yuhi skirt she was wearing had long since vanished. But okay. Because there are only 3 female angels on this entire planet. Except for Angel Yan. The remaining 2 are Angel Hexi and Angel Juxin. At this time, Hexi was sitting under a silver star tree drinking Yuhi tea with Juxin. Master, Sister Yan has been working very hard recently. She just learned how to use the calculation engine of Tianren number 7 to assist in the battle. Do you really want to use this method to stimulate her potential and upgrade the sacred body? Angel Juxin looked at Angel Yan, who was struggling in Yao Madara's cage. Can't help but feel a little distressed for her. After all, Angel Yan just returned from Earth not long ago. He was abused by Hexi for 3 days with his clone. She just learned how to fight like a king with the Sky Blade 7. To endure such hardships again. Angel's heart is also a little unbearable. Juxin, your sister Yan is the designated heir of Queen Geisha. If she can't even endure this little test, then what qualifications does she have to take this seat? Haven't you seen the attitude of those veteran angels towards her? Hexi looked at Angel Yan, who was eating fruit in the distance, indifferently. Showing a meaningful look. Geisha actually talked to Hexi a long time ago. If one day she abdicates, the future king of angels needs his ally to help her test and guide her. Angel Yan though is Geisha's holy left wing. These thousands of years have also made a lot of credit for the angel civilization. But Angel Yan returns from Earth. follow the oracle of Holy Geisha to be crowned king. But on the day of Angel Yan's official coronation, except for Hexie, not a single angel over 20,000 years old came. Angel Yan was very angry about this. But she also has no way to take those old angels, because they don't care about the little Angel Yan at all. But Master, every angel has sworn to uphold justice and order and allegiance to Queen Geisha. Since Queen Geisha has left an order, we should all support Sister Yan. Angel Juxin looked at Hexie. There was anger in his eyes. Although Angel Yan's strength is not the strongest of Angel Nebula. But since Queen Geisha has decided that Angel Yan will take over as the Supreme Commander of the Angel Legion and act as the acting Queen of Angel Civilization. That must make sense. Why did those old angels do that? While Geisha was alive, every word she said was the will of God, and no one would question it. But Geisha is now dead. If Angel Yan wants to succeed the King of Angels, she needs to rely on strength to speak. Angel Hexie looked at Yunwan Yunshu in the sky lightly. Every angel in the Angel Nebula believes in every word of Geisha from the bottom of his heart. But it was different after Geisha fell. Although everyone also respects Geisha very much. But the remaining veteran angels are not convinced by anyone. Even Hexie, the Heavenly King, couldn't convince all the angels. This is the truth. So, if Angel Yan wants to be the real King of Angels, a little discipline is essential. But, the promotion of the divine body is not that easy. Angel Juxin shook his head with a wry smile. Angel Juxin and Angel Yan were able to become gods immediately after being resurrected. That is because the rebirth from ashes and the activation of the biological engine will burst out an incomparably pure power of the void. That kind of power can make it easy to become a god. But opportunities like this are one and only one. Now that Angel Yan has broken through the 3 generations of gods with the sub-biological engine, then she naturally has no way to use the same method to break through the 4th generation of gods. There's no way, I have to let her try it out. She shrugged and said casually, after all, the sages have clouds, and dreams always have to be there. What if they succeed? Chapter 408_Angel Harem. Fate can be really magical sometimes. It is unclear and unclear. For example now. Modder a cage that Hexie had prepared for her. But she didn't know where she suddenly managed to get 1 gold. Then, it really allowed her to successfully break through the 4 generations of gods at one time. Upgrade the holy body successfully. Beat the Angel Nebula Luck leaderboard and become the luckiest angel. Ah, Master, Sister Yan has been upgraded successfully. What do you think? Angel Juxin watched Angel Yan, who was successfully promoted to the 4th generation of gods and came out of Yao Madara's cage eating guago. A stunned expression appeared on his face. Be honest. Although Juxin also very much hopes that Angel Yan can be promoted to the sacred body. But, heartbroken never imagined. Angel Yan actually succeeded in 1 go. That is a holy body. The 4th generation of gods. How many gods are there in the entire known universe? In society, my sister Yan seems to have changed her life against the sky. This, hee. Hexie raised his brows, but then smiled indifferently, and said, look, so I'm right. There is still a dream, isn't it a reality? Quote. The reason why Hexie has such a tight rhythm is that Angel Yan is arranged to break through the sacred body. Her original intention was just to convey a message to those veteran angels. That is, Angel Yan is still young. But she, Tianji King Hexie, will support Angel Yan and help her become the real Angel King. So, only then did Hexie decide to let Angel Yan attack the sacred body as soon as possible. But actually, Hexie never expected Angel Yan to really break through the divine body. After all, his face was as white as her Hexie. It was only after 3 consecutive shocks that they were promoted to the divine body. So, Hexie really didn't expect it. Angel Yan's luck is so powerful. Just flipped over. Is this God's will? Angel Yan walked out of Hexie's Yaumatara cage. There is no thread all over the body. Then, she opens micro wormholes. Take out a new set of royal clothes. Worn on the body. Then, he walked under the tree where Hexie and Juxin were drinking tea. King Tianji, do you have any wine? I don't want to drink tea now, I just want to drink. Angel Yan glanced at the teacup Hexie handed over indifferently. Shook his head. It was Angel Yan's favorite flavor. But now she has decisively refused. Because Angel Yan just wants to drink now. The strongest kind of wine. Then, Hexie smiled faintly. She took out the star wine that Geisha liked to drink. Poured a glass for Angel. Angel Yan took the star wine with faint starlight in the cup and drank it. A hot line of fire rushed directly into her body along Angel Yan's throat in an instant. She was so hot that tears were coming out. But suffering is suffering. Angel Yan's mood improved a little because of this. This moment, Angel Yan finally understood. Why is wine so unpleasant to drink, yet so many people like it? Because wine is good because it is bad. Because physical pain relieves mental pain. So, what about the night wind? He is nothing but a 300-year-old male god. Why is he also addicted to alcohol? As if in addition to women and wine, Yifeng does not have any other hobbies. He is also a weirdo. Think of the night wind. Angel Yan's brows suddenly wrinkled again. King Tianji, are you sure there is nothing wrong with the treasure house of sacred knowledge? That result, is it true? Angel Yan wiped his mouth. Received the second glass of wine from Hexie. After she broke through the sacred body. The most concerned thing is not how to rectify the Angel Legion. Rather, he wanted to confirm whether the calculation results of the sacred treasure house were correct. After all, that could be related to the future happiness of the entire angelic civilization. Well, the treasure house of sacred knowledge is functioning normally. She also poured himself a glass of wine, drank it all, and said faintly, the results you see are accurate. I have repeated the calculation 3 times, all our angels the best matching male god is Yifeng. Quote. After Hexie finished speaking, he shook his head and smiled again. Gods will gave Yifeng such a big plug-in, but he finally chose the demon Liang Bing. This is really good luck. The male god who best matches the angel has chosen the enemy of the angel. This made she faintly have an urge not to admit defeat. Isn't it cold ice? Is she so attractive? What? This, Master, Sister Yan, are you telling the truth? The best match for all angels is Yifeng. It was the first time that Jixin had heard this terrible news. She stood up suddenly. Said to be completely unbelievable. Yifeng alone versus the entire Angel Legion. Is he tired? Angel Yan glanced at Jixin with a frown, and sighed, I couldn't believe it at first, but Yifeng is so special. At this time, Angel Yan recalled the first time she met Yifeng. At that time, the night wind was calm and a little ruffian. There was a hint of domineering in the teasing. In short, Yifeng is a very interesting person. I don't know when they will meet again in the future. Can he still maintain his original intention? Then what should we do now? We can't all marry Yifeng, Jixin said with a stunned mouth. Originally, not everyone can figure out the best match for an angel. Most angels cannot calculate results. Before that, only a small number of angels can accidentally pass through the treasure house of divine knowledge and arrive at the calculation results. And by convention, once the result is calculated, according to the calculation results, they will marry the male god calculated by the treasure house of sacred knowledge. But now what? Angel collectively marry Yifeng. What is this? What will God do? At this time, Tianji Wang Hexie laughed indifferently again. Actually, you don't need to worry too much. Data is just data, and tradition is just tradition. All these can be changed. I think things between everyone and Yifeng should be observed in the future. Although it is common sense. Yifeng was affirmed by the treasure house of divine knowledge. Then he is naturally good enough to accept the entire angel harem group. But who says the right thing has to be done? For example, self-discipline and diligence is right. For example, it is right to go to bed early and get up early. But how many people can insist on doing the right things? So, Tianji Wang Hexi always felt that it was better to be an angel from the heart. This will make you happier. After all, the sages have clouds. For example, in the morning dew, in the past, there is much suffering. Everything is about a long-term future. Chapter 409 _ Righteous Night Wind. I think King Tianji is right. We still have to think about how to stabilize the military's morale now. Angel Yan looked at Hexi and Juxin with a piercing gaze. She now has a divine body. He also learned how to use the battle engine of Tianren No. 7 to assist in the battle. He has also obtained full access to Geisha's arsenal. She now has the hard conditions of the King of Angels. The rest is operation and awareness. We must first make the veteran angel of Angel Nebula surrender to Sister Yan. Otherwise, they may one day turn away from justice. Angel Juxin looked at Angel Yan firmly. In the angelic code of justice order, the first is that the King of Angels represents the justice of the angels. Those veteran angels doubt Angel Yan's ability. It is equivalent to questioning the judgment of Queen Geisha. This is more equivalent to them doubting the two kings of angels. In Juxin's view, such a thing absolutely cannot happen. Well, but I can't blame them. After all, Queen Geisha's best heir is Enicid. I'm just a temporary acting queen. It's normal for them to disagree with me. Angel Yan shook his head. The true heir to the throne that Queen Geisha has identified. Otherwise, Geisha, the queen, won't just have Angel Yan as the acting king of angels. So, after Angel Yan planned to stabilize the order of angel civilization, he went to Fraser to wait for Anisid to develop. Anisid. Tianji Wang Hexi smiled noncommittally and said. Actually, don't think about it too much. Enicid was nothing more than the best choice calculated by the treasure house of divine knowledge. That's not the only option. And, even if she is the only one, she cannot be changed. I am recalculating. However, calculations at this scale are much slower. Just wait for the new calculation results to come out. The attitude of Tianji Wang Hexi has been very clear. As long as Angel Yan is willing to take on the burden of the King of Angels, Tianji Wang Hexi can continue to support Angel Yan as the king. As for the calculation results, that doesn't matter anymore. Hexi often prefers to trust her own judgment. But in any case, until the latest calculation results come out, I will still follow Queen Geisha's will and go to Fraser to protect Enicid in person. After all, the devil already knows her identity, and her situation is not safe. Angel Yan is not obsessed with the throne. She is obsessed with all the decisions that Geisha Queen makes. So, as long as the result remains the same, Angel Yan will definitely support Enicid to become the future King of Angels. Well, actually, I don't think this is necessary at all, because the current Demon King is Yefeng. Although I haven't seen him, I don't think Yefeng will attack Enicid. Hexi shrugged. A man who can be the god of all angels must be a very honest person. Hexi believes him. At this time, Yifeng, who disliked her integrity, has returned to Earth with Reina and Li Yanbing. Reina's return naturally boosted the morale of the entire company. Jie Shaolun felt that they were almost ready to live. Because their boss has not only dealt with the demon, but now even the death god of Styx does not dare to make trouble in front of him. Those of them who were younger brothers to Yifeng also felt a lot of face on their faces. But, during the day, their favorability toward Yifeng kept soaring. But at night, they heard the complicated voices coming from Yifeng's room. Favorability will drop suddenly under the psychological effect of jealousy. especially Reina's bold voice. Art, 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 just. Ah. Like Karen resounded throughout the giant gorge. Beating their minds that like to make up their own minds again and again. ... Just when Yifeng took Lena to live that shameless life on the giant gorge. Howl has also successfully arrived at Sunstar. Liyang General Pan's mansion. This is a quaint mansion. There are 2 washbasin-sized golden dragons on the Yuhi-colored gate. The golden dragons each held a golden ring in their mouths. The golden ring shines brightly on both sides of the door. There is also a pair of jade kirin. Vivid. Very stylish. Under the leadership of the big butler of Pan's house, Howl walked through a long corridor with a bewildered face, and finally arrived at the living room of the general's house, which was specially used to receive guests. The living room is also full of antiques. There are 2 rows of Taishi chairs. Mr. Howe, please take your seat first, General Pan will arrive later. The butler entertained Howl and ordered the tea boy to serve fresh tea, then stood at the door and said nothing. Well, you Liyang, you are really different. Howl let out a sigh. This style of painting is very different from the giant wolf star full of technology. If it hadn't been for Howl to know that this was Sunstar, he must have thought this was some slow-moving civilization. Might as well grab one by the way. At this time, Pan Zhen finally appeared. Mr. Howe, Liyang is not called being different, it is abiding by tradition. Pan Zhen smiled lightly, sat on the main seat, looked at Howe and smiled. Pan Zhen is tall and muscular. Gives a majestic feeling. He was wearing a golden armor. Vaguely. It seems that there is a golden flame dragon to protect the body. After Howl saw Pan Zhen, he immediately stood up from his chair. It's not that he is polite. In fact, he was so shocked by Pan Zhen's momentum that he couldn't sit still at all. After all, the goddess of Liyang has suffered a lot in his hands. Howl was quite guilty. Hello General Pan, I came to Liyang this time on behalf of my god Carl, to discuss a big matter with you. Howe said respectfully. Oh, big event. Pan Zhen gave Howl a meaningful look, and said lightly, your death, Carl, slaughtered the holy geisha. I thought that in this known universe, there is nothing that can make you god Carl cares about something. Ah, General Pan Zhen is joking. Howl hurriedly smiled, and then said, my god Carl sent me this time to discuss with you about the division of theocracy on Earth. I don't know if you are right. How do you view the theocracy of the Earth? Division of theocracy. Sit first. Pan Zhen's eyes moved slightly, but he regained his calm in an instant, and asked, then what does your god Carl think of it? Chapter 410_Theocratic Council. Theocracy is a strategic resource of divine civilization. Especially a place like Earth. Only after having the divine right. Only the blazing sun can preach safely on Earth. Earth talents will willingly accept Liyang's management and selection. In the end, the excellent Earthlings can be genetically modified. Supplement the excellent super fighters for the blazing sun. General Pan, my god Carl is an honest person, so I have to say it straight. Howl obediently sat back on the chair of the teacher, and then said sincerely, my god Carl thinks that the blazing sun is at least on Earth. Should have won 70% of the divine right. Quote. 70%. Pan Zhen raised his brows and smiled meaningfully, saying, that child Lena suffered on Earth. It's not too much for Liyang to take 70% theocracy, but that requires the approval of other civilizations. Okay. Determining the theocracy of a civilization is not an easy task. Of course. The rules for dividing theocracy are themselves simple. All participants have a share. This time, there are 4 civilizations participating in the divine right of the Earth: angels, demons, blazing sun, and Styx. Although Liyang wants to take the lead, but it still has to be discussed with other civilizations. This is not a simple matter. Pan Zhongjun is right, so my god's intention for me to come here is to express a position to General Pan Zhen. I will definitely support Liang on the division of the Earth's theocracy. Howell said slowly. Oh. Pan Zhen looked at Howell thoughtfully. He really didn't quite understand Styx's operation. Your god Karl asked the gluttonous army to attack the Earth. In the end, the Teoti was completely wiped out by the demons. In the end, you all turned around to support me, Liang. What is the reason for this? It should be conditional, right? Howell heard Pan Zhen's questioning. He nodded decisively. My god Karl said that I, Styx, don't have a cent of the divine right of the Earth, but you must help us drive the demons away from the Earth. Because my god Karl can't accept the fact that the Earthman Yefeng has stolen the demon civilization. So it is. Pan Zhen nodded. Naturally, he also heard a little about the things between Karl and Lianbing. Now, Yifeng not only stole the goddess that Karl had a crush on for a long time. He also wiped out the entire gluttonous army with Lianbing. It's no wonder that Karl is not angry. Since Styx can take the initiative to give up the divine right of the Earth, it is not difficult for Pan to help you drive away the demons. I think the angels should also be willing to help. The big deal is that I, Liang, and the angels are divided into 5 parts of the Earth. Pan Zhen smiled lightly. Angels and demons have always been mortal enemies. As long as Pan Zhen forms an alliance with the angel in advance. And then there is Styx to support. What the hell is the devil? ... Angel Nebula. Merlot Heavenly Court Core. Angel Yan hung up the long-distance call from Pan Zhen. Involuntarily fell into contemplation. Azui, what do you think about this matter? Angel Yan asked. Queen, I think Pan Zhen is right. Although we angels don't look down on the divine power of the Earth, we shouldn't cheapen the demons either. The angel said solemnly. Well, I understand. Angel Yan hesitated for a while, then looked at Angel Jixin and asked, Jixin, what do you think? Queen, I think, although we shouldn't be cheap demons, the current demon king is Yefeng after all. So we still have to think about this matter. Angel Juxin suggested. Yefeng, what's wrong with Yefeng? Is there anything special about him? Angel Chase frowned, a little puzzled in his heart. Well, Angel Yan touched his chin, and then said, it's nothing, I'll discuss it with King Tianji. The match between Angel and Yifeng has been covered up by Angel Yan and the 3 of them. They will never let the 4th person know about this. So, now it's about the night wind. Angel Yan felt that the 3 of them should discuss it carefully together. ... This day. South China Sea. Over the giant gorge. A cloud of fire rolled. Pan Zhen, the regent of the Liang civilization, took Zantianji through the Earth's atmosphere with his love. Landed on the giant gorge. Dukao rushed out at the first time, leading a company of male soldiers who had been fighting oil. To prevent Pan Zhen from doing things. Dukao, where is my god Lina? Why didn't you see her come out to greet General Pan? Zantianji was holding a 3-pointed 2-bladed halberd. Wearing the sun silver armor. He looked at Dukao with disdain. He didn't give any attention to the heroic company. HMPH, where did the god of hair come from? Why does he look so familiar? Could it be the trash that my grandson stepped on under his feet more than 1,000 years ago? Not to be outdone, Sun Wukong took a step forward. Ruyi gold hoop stick in hand to the deck with a pestle. There was a low sound. Stinky monkey, Zan is no longer the me that I was 1,400 years ago. Regarding your Senpo, Sage Art Plan, I, Liang, have already thoroughly studied it. Zantianji held the halberd in one fell swoop. Point to Sun Wukong from afar. He doesn't put Sun Wukong, the god of war in China, in his eyes at all now. Cut, still the Senpo, Sage Art Plan. This is our Earth, it's called a strategy guide. Sun Wukong looked at Zantianji with a sneer and sneered, the times are different now, you Liang are too backward. That's right. Sun Wukong doesn't care whether his Liang technology lags behind. But the style is simply too backward. Then, Seeing that the two of them were about to fight, Dukao hurriedly stepped forward and asked, "General Pan, I don't know why you came to Earth suddenly." "No way. The grievance between the monkey and Liang is too deep." Dukao could only come out and interject. "Don't let them get too aggressive. In case the giant gorge is sunk again." "Lao Du, I'm here to find Lena, where is she?" Pan Zhen said lightly. Pan Zhen could feel that Lena was on this boat. But why hasn't she come out to meet him? Is it because Reina was out of control on Earth? Didn't he even have basic respect for him as the regent? It has long been said that Earth's civilization is too impetuous. Even the culture handed down by his ancestors can't keep up. Reina was really hurt by it. Rena. At this time, Dukao and Sun Wukong looked at each other, and then Dukao replied with a slightly strange look. "They just fell asleep, do you need me to wake them up?" "Just fell asleep?" Pan Zhen frowned and asked back. "They had night training last night." "Well, they are really doing night training recently. They are usually used to make up for sleep during the day," Dukao said with an embarrassed expression. "To be honest, although we are all on the giant gorge, I haven't seen them for a while." "No way. Young people always like to be out at night." Completely opposite to his old dude's living habits. How can you easily see it? Chapter 411 _ Did you report? Lao Du, this is your fault. Pan Zhen shook his head and looked at Dukao with displeased expression. "Rena is my lord of the sun, and her status is so noble. She came to your Earth to guide you. How can you let her do this day and night upside down so often? Don't look at Lena's lack of substantive divine power on Sunstar. But she is still the main god of Liang's star no matter what. Don't say anything else. At least normal sleep is fine. How did you become a night owl here?" Pan Zhen was very unhappy. Well, Dukao touched his chin, and he decided to make a bigger move. "Jie Xiaolun, go and call Yu Fengyi, he still has to fight this pot." "No way. You have done all the shameless things. You have to carry the pot yourself, right?" Then. Not much effort. Yifeng used Horaitian to bring a group of sleepy girls to the deck. The girls are wearing some very convenient clothes. It is completely different from the heroic company that is waiting for it. "Lena, why do you look so stern, Yuhi? But your body is a little uncomfortable." Pan Zhen frowned and asked with concern. "Come on, let the old minister help you take your pulse and check it carefully." In fact, Reina had just fallen asleep not long ago. So, Yuhi on her face from the strenuous activity. But she never thought of it. It was this color that aroused Pan Zhen's suspicion. And Pan Zhen still wanted to step forward to check his pulse. How can this work? What if I find out that other people's gods are different from before? Then, Reina quickly waved her hand and refused. "Check the pulse." "What pulse? We've already monitored it, so it's not that easy to get caught. After all, everyone is a god. The divine body has the benefits of the divine body. But there are flaws. That is, the probability of the inheritance of the divine body genes is very low. They don't need any protection at all and won't be easily attacked. In the words of the night wind, God is an existence that defies the sky and changes fate. Therefore, the stronger the god, the more unacceptable to heavenly path. It will not easily let this powerful power be passed on easily." "Huh, Lena, what are you talking about? Let the old minister check it out first." Pan Zhen frowned. He suddenly felt that Reina was a little weird. Could there be a generation gap between him and Reina? But anyway, Reina just blew up the holy geisha, and was tossed again in the Styx. He had to check it out for himself. But this time. However, Yifeng impatiently took Gush out and pointed at Pan Zhen, signaling him to stop first. Then, Yifeng casually asked Haifeng on Demon 1. "Haifeng, have these two Liang people come to our Earth? Have you reported them in advance? Has the approval process been completed? Why don't I remember that I stamped them for approval? Is it because I neglected my daily schedule?" The Night King. They didn't report. They entered the Earth's atmosphere without authorization. They don't kill us at all. Their arrogance is very arrogant. Black Wind Demon on Demon 1 is very unhappy. Yu Panjian is nothing but the regent of the mere Liang civilization. Not the main god of the sun. Why do you look down on him, the Black Wind Demon? His Black Wind Demon is second only to the existence of the two kings in the demon civilization. Dare to float. Let my boss cut you, believe it or not. No report. Isn't that the intruder? Inform the units to prepare for battle. Yi Feng gave the battle order neatly. Then, a harsh alarm sound suddenly sounded over the entire giant gorge. Baby tilde baby tilde baby tilde. Everyone understands when they hear it. This is the highest level alarm sound of the demon civilization. Wait. This moment. Pan Zhen calmly analyzed and thought for a while. But he was still bewildered. What's the situation? Why would we start a war without a word? Don't I just want to give Reina a pulse? Report this. Devil King, Pan came to Earth this time because he has important things to discuss with your demons, not an intruder. Pan Zhen looked at Yi Feng seriously. Although he did come to Earth this time to target demons. But, has he not shown his attitude yet? What is the devil doing? Is this their way of doing things? You're not an intruder. You're not an intruder, so why didn't you report it? Yi Feng frowned and called Hei Feng directly from Devil 1. Hei Feng, did you not tell us about it? Rules. That's not possible, Night King. Hei Feng waved his hand in denial and said, I even asked Xiao Hei to intercept them, but they were so fast that they hit Xiao Hei on the moon. Black Wind finished. Just took out a selfie photo of Xiao Hei. Sure enough, he was lying in a large annular crater on the moon. See this scene. Yi Feng's face turned gloomy. And you said that you were not intruders. Not only did you disobey the rules and regulations of my Earth civilization, but you dare to beat people. Yi Feng's face sank. The gazes that swept towards Pan Zhen and Zhan Tianji became sharper. That's right. Do you think that our demons are all spicy chickens? Isn't it worth your report? Black Wind snorted coldly. Although we are all spicy chicken except Shuang Wang. But our average combat power is high. Just ask if you are satisfied. This. Pan Zhen's splendid national character face was slightly startled, and then he said. Then it's the old man's abruptness. I'll ask my subordinates to bring a small gift to Devil Number 1 and apologize to the little brother who was knocked away. To be frank. When Pan Zhen and Zhan Tianji came, the flight speed was really fast. Hit some meteorites on the way. Could it be that the devil Xiao Hei looks like a meteorite? It's impossible to say. After all, demons are very strange. Bo Li. Hei Feng shook his head tisk 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 tisk, and said sarcastically, you listen, do you say anything? Yes, if an apology is useful, what's the point of being disciplined? Yi Feng nodded, pointed at Pan Zhen, then glanced at Lena and said. But I can give you a chance because of your Lord God Reina's face. If you go out and report again, I will just pretend that what happened just now has not happened. Report. I don't think it's necessary, right? Pan Zhen frowned. Pan Zhen himself is quite a man of shrewdness. He could naturally see that Yi Feng was deliberately targeting them. But the angels and the people of Styx have not yet reached the earth. If the sun collides with the devil first, that would seem so unwise. After all, Liang pays attention to the national security and the people's security. It is best to have both sides. Even if the other party is sold, the other party can happily count the money for him. Chapter 412 _ Please let go of my god Reina. Isn't this necessary? We came out with a large number of teachers, do you think it was to wash away the dust for you? Yi Feng glanced at Pan Zhen and asked Lena, your subordinates. Is there a problem with the discipline? Reina heard Yi Feng's words. She wanted to laugh but didn't dare to actually laugh. After all, her subordinates. That's Pan Zhen, the regent. Although Reina has always imagined that one day, she will be able to help her with the help of Yifeng. You can act in front of Pan Zhen. Hit him in the face. But when Lena really faced Pan Zhen, she was still a little empty in her heart. General Pan, this is the Earth, and the Earth has the rules of the Earth. You should abide by the rules here, Lena said timidly. Isn't it just a report? What is this? Is it necessary to engage in rattling swords? But this time, Zhan Tianji suddenly raised his eyes. The light on the god body rises. He finally couldn't take it anymore. Zhan Tianji looked at Lena coldly, and said without the slightest respect. Rena, you actually asked General Pan to obey the rules of the Earth. As the main god of my blazing sun, have you bowed your head to the devil? Zhan Tianji's voice fell. Rena involuntarily looked at Yuhi. What's wrong with bowing to the night wind? Everyone bowed their heads. What is this? And how did Zhan Tianji, this annoying guy, see it? 1400 years ago, Zhan Tianji was just an ordinary second-generation warrior of Liang. At that time, Sun Wukong took the Lingxiao Tianing number from China. Zhan Tianji was severely humiliated by being stepped on by Sun Wukong. From then onwards, Zhan Tianji was furious. He has made a lot of contributions in Liang. Finally, I have collected a resource to promote the divine body. Then, Zhan Tianji, oh god possessed. With a pale face, he became a god once. Now, he is already a real fiery sun god of war. At this moment, Zhan Tianji slammed the sword in his hand to the deck. An incomparably powerful dragon-shaped flame suddenly rose. Like a giant dragon, spinning and coiling above his head. It seems to have the power to destroy the world. But, however, Liang Bing looked at Zhan Tianji with a strange smile on his face and said, where did the little white face come from? He's crazy enough to dare to play along in front of the old lady. I won't pinch you. Say it. Liang Bing summoned two pitch-black monstrous devil hands. A time. Demon flames. His aura was far superior to the fire dragon on Zhan Tianji's head. And then, Liang Bing controlled the big black hand, and directly grabbed Zhan Tianji and the big dragon above his head in his hand. And at the same time, Sun Wukong let out a cold snort in the direction of Zhan Tianji. Immediately after, he aimed the iron rod at a certain part of Zhan Tianji. Get thicker and elongated. Puff. Zhan Tianji. Residual. Tianji. Pan Zhen was stunned when he saw such a scene. He was a little distracted. The back door of his love general was opened by a monkey. This just made Pan Zhen gasp. Morgana, are you guys going to fight with my Liang? Pan Zhen was finally angry. The terrifying power of the sun swept out instantly. It seems to be able to melt everything in the world. But Yifeng just raised his hand at will. Absolute Zero domain launch. The ice demon energy with Absolute Zero collided with Pan Zhen's hot air. Acid base neutralization. Calm again in the void. Pan Zhen, you are planning to betray Liang, and then declare war on my demon in your own name, right? Then my demon will fight. Yifeng looked at Pan Zhen calmly. Everyone said that in this known universe, no one could offend Liang Star's Pan Zhen. Because he can blow up the sun in other people's homes. But it's like someone who can't blow up the sun. Yifeng has long left a Horician mark on his sun. Who dares to make trouble? He flew over to hammer the man right away. In my own name, Demon King, what do you mean? Pan Zhen raised his eyes. He obviously threatened the power of the entire blazing sun to deter their demons. How did it become that he was going to betray Liang in Yifengkou? How could Pan Zhen betray Liang? What do I mean? Yifeng stood up with a sneer, and looked at Pan Zhen with ridicule. Your Lord God of Liang is here now, and you are just her subordinate, you think you represent Liang. Hearing this, Pan Zhen frowned. He looked at Reina and Yifeng thoughtfully, and finally realized that Reina seemed to be really different. My god Lena, their demons ignored the majesty of the blazing sun, deliberately made things difficult for the old minister, and unreasonably injured Tianji. What do you think of this matter? Pan Zhen looked at Lena. The voice is low. Pan Zhen was not the kind of young man who would get angry and lose his mind when he was provoked a little. Because the Danua war that once broke out has left a painful lesson for Liang. What the current Liang civilization pursues is national peace and prosperity. They are generally reluctant to engage in any cosmic-level war. But Yi Feng's attitude really made Pan Zhen a little incapable of accepting it. Young people today. It really doesn't talk about martial arts at all. He decided not to flash this time. At this time, Lena frowned and looked at Pan Zhen and Yi Feng, with a very complicated expression on her face. After all, the opposite is Pan Zhen, the prince regent who can make the Liang people fear with a cold snort. But Yi Feng held Lena's little hand and said softly, "It doesn't matter, remember, you are the Lord of Liang, because I am behind you." Yi Feng told Reina that he would make her king in the future. Let her become the veritable main god of Liang Star. So, now is a very suitable opportunity. Pan Zhen looked at the relationship between his goddess and Yi Feng. It seemed a little unclear. He suddenly began to regret letting Reina come to Earth. Otherwise, Geisha won't die. They also live a stable and regular life in Liang. But look again now. A lot of things seem to be getting out of control. Devil King, men and women can't accept each other. Please let go of my god Lena. Pan Zhen said solemnly. The Liang civilization is a very traditional and conservative civilization. Pan Zhen would get angry if Lena's clothes were revealing. Not to mention this in broad daylight. Pull, pull, pull. But Yi Feng smiled even more wanton, stretched out his hand and pulled Reina into his arms, gave him a kiss, then looked at Pan Zhen and said with a smile. The goddess is for love, not for making vases. You are a servant of Liang. Do you still want to interfere with the emotional problems of your master god? You. Pan Zhen became angry again when he saw this. He soothed his emotions for a long time and was successfully ignited by Yi Feng. But this time, Reina finally spoke. General Pan, Yi Feng is right, I don't need you to take care of my own affairs. Chapter 413 God can do whatever he wants. Reina summoned her courage and asked. What Liang pays attention to is national security and people's security, and the most important thing is human affection. As the main god of Liang, I am now establishing diplomatic relations with the main god of demons. Is this a problem? In-depth communication between the main god and the main god. Do you need one of your servants to join in? Is it a bit overwhelming? That's right, this is a matter between the main god and the main god. Does it have anything to do with you, Pan Zhen? You see that there are so many male queen harem groups in my family, but has I, Morgana, been in charge of it? Lian Bing also sat on Yi Feng's lap. He smiled wanton. The Lord God is the Lord God. They just can do whatever they want. Pan Zhen silently watched what was happening in front of him. He finally realized the seriousness of the problem. In Pan Zhen's eyes, Lena was originally just an ignorant little girl. Although she is the main god. But it did not get the corresponding divine right. And now, Reina's ideology has clearly changed. She is preparing to unite with outsiders to deal with him, the regent loyal to Liang. General Pan, stop being fearless in resisting. If you didn't insist on doing things according to the rules of the earth, how could something have happened to Zantianji? Reina shook her head. Don't blame the society for your own problems. Actually, most of the time, the root cause of the problem is in yourself. Be a man. Just do more self-reflection. For example, a certain novelist named Feng Puji. It's cold for a reason. Can't complain that this year's reading J is not good. After all, everyone has been very strong. I haven't scolded the streets after seeing so much water. Are they not tolerant enough? Lena, although you are the main god of Liang, Don't forget that Liyang's heavenly path tower is still there, and the sun god Emperor Hongkun is still there. Are you sure you want to float like this? Pan Zhen narrowed his eyes slightly. Anecdotal rumors. After Emperor Hongkun destroyed the Denuo civilization. Suicide because of guilt. But, for God, it is not impossible to resurrect after suicide. After the resurrection, Emperor Hongkun began to live in seclusion in the Heavenly Path Tower. Began to secretly study some indescribable things. For so many years. Only Pan Zhen can enter the Heavenly Path Tower to meet Emperor Hongkun. I don't know what they were doing there. So, why doesn't Reina have the divine power of the blazing sun? Just because in the eyes of the old Liyang god, Di Hongkun is the real Liyang Lord God. Dorina. She is just a vase used to fool the bottom of the Liyang civilization. And that's the vase. Now you actually want to collude with outsiders to deal with Pan Zhen. Isn't this a joke? My grandpa. Reina frowned. According to Liyang's official statement, Di Hongkun is Di Lena's grandfather. But Lena had never met Di Hongkun. She didn't know what happened to Di Hongkun. Pan Zhen, old thief, don't use your heavenly path tower to scare Xiao Lena. If you don't go out to report, my grandson will definitely follow Feng Yi and push your heavenly path tower together. Yes. Although his son Wukong is a warrior. He is a shooter. But pushing the tower behind Feng Yi is the best choice. Yefeng. Otherwise, forget it. Reina calmly analyzed and thought for a while. Pan Zhen is already very strong. And he still respected Emperor Hongkun in the Heavenly Path Tower. So, her grandpa must be stronger. Reina didn't want Yifeng to cause such trouble for her. Forget it. That won't work. Rules are rules. Yifeng shook his head decisively and said, Pan Zhen, I'll give you another 10 breaths. If you don't leave, don't blame me for being rude. No way. Those with bare feet are not afraid of wearing shoes. Although the earth is nothing in the face of the blazing sun. But their Liyang star is also nothing in front of the devil. And the whole universe. Liyang is the most unwilling to start a cosmic war. After all, they still want to pursue Guotai and Ninan. Yefeng, you are so stubborn, are you really not afraid that the earth will be destroyed? Pan Zhen's eyes were solemn. In his history, he had never met someone as inhumane as Yifeng. In the past, everyone fights, threatens each other, and then gives each other a step to discuss the solution after the event. But Yifeng's stingy appearance gave Pan Zhen a headache. Hard to do. Does he really want to bow his head to the night wind? This can't be done. Cut, isn't it the extinguishing star? It's not the same as whoever said it. Lian Bing unconcernedly lifted her long hair, glanced at He Feng, and ordered. He Feng, lock me in the time and space nodes we left in the Heavenly Path Galaxy in those years. If you find someone doing something in the solar system, transfer the Demon One to the Heavenly Path Galaxy, and then blow up the Sun Star into Momo. Quote. Quote. Pan Zhen was speechless. Really barefoot and not afraid to wear shoes. Their sun civilization operates several Eternals in the Heavenly Path system. To their abilities, it shouldn't be limited to a broken sun star. They can control stars. Nature can also live freely throughout the galaxy. But the suns are the ones who value tradition the most. How could they leave Liyang alone? Then, after convincing people through this, Pan Zhen finally held back. He decided to take Zantianji to leave the earth first, and then go back to the devil to sign in and report. Don't you just lose face. After the angels and the sticks have arrived, it will be enough for his Liyang to get the lining. Pan Zhen is about to leave. At this time, Earth's atmosphere began to tumble again. 2 beautiful angels descended from the sky. It landed on the deck of the giant gorge. See this scene. Du Cao swallowed. Long live. It's hard to feel that the earth is finally at peace. Why did Liyang and Angel travel together in a group? What to do? Hexi, long time no see, sitting in Yifeng's arms, Liang Bing first looked at the angel who came to Earth in astonishment, and finally laughed. The two angels who came to the Earth were the Tianji King Hexi and her disciple Angel Juxin. After Hexi appeared, she didn't take care of Liang Bing right away. Instead, he took a serious look at Yifeng and the girls around him, showing a thoughtful look. What the hell is this for? This is not the posture of giving the whole angel to Yifeng to open the harem. Is this all the beautiful girls have to belong to someone? Is this too much? At the same time, Yifeng is also looking at the angels Hexi and the angels Juxin who met for the first time. There was an expression of admiration for beautiful things on his face. He was about to say hello to the beautiful Miss Angel. But Haifeng suddenly stood up, and pointed at Hexi and shouted sharply. Angel Wu, you two entered the Earth's atmosphere privately, did you report to our demons? I am the third in command of the demon civilization. The Black Wind Demon. Chapter 414 Are you a sand sculpture? Heard threats from the Black Wind. He Shi and Ji Shin were slightly taken aback. Subsequently, they looked at each other. That's right, their demons are now kings on Earth, claiming that they must first report when they come here. Pan is preparing to leave Earth to report first. Do you want to be together? Pan Zhen said lightly. Originally, Pan Zhen thought that the devil was deliberately targeting him. Look now. It doesn't seem to be the case. So, Pan Zhen's mood finally improved a little. Do I still need to report when I come to Earth? Then I'll leave with Juxin first, and come back later. He Shi looked at Yifeng and smiled. Isn't it just a report? Hexi felt that this was actually nothing. The Earth's atmosphere is a little higher anyway. A back and forth is only a matter of seconds. But Yifeng shook his head. Backhand arranged a demonic illusion small class for Haifeng. Let him switch roles with Sister Kunpeng in demonic illusion. You two don't need to be so troublesome. After all, angels are friends of demons and don't need to report. After Yifeng finished speaking, he glanced at Pan Zhen again and said, Pan Zhongjun, are you still leaving? See this scene. Pan Zhen was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Why doesn't the angel have to report and Pan Zhen has to report? When did angels become friends with demons? Would you like a face? But after Pan Zhen saw the group of girls standing behind Yifeng, he instantly understood. This is to set up the Shira field. Just do it. Kill yourself sooner or later. ... After Pan Zhen left the Earth's atmosphere, came to Devil 1. He resisted his anger and completed the report under all kinds of difficulties from the devil. During this free time, Yifeng finally knew why Hexi and Pan Zhen came to the Earth with their front and back feet. Theocracy. Liang, Angel, Styx, the three of you want to divide the theocracy of the Earth with the devil. Yifeng shook his head and smiled. In the original plot, Liang Bing also represents the devil who called the blazing sun and the Styx to the Earth to divide the Earth's divine right. That episode was called the Theocratic Council. But now the pattern of the Earth is very different from the original plot. How dare they come to claim the divine right of the Earth? Who gave them courage? To tell you the truth, our angels are not interested in Earth theocracy, but I am very interested in you personally, so I came to Earth specially to see how you are going to deal with this matter. Angel Hexi smiled sweetly. It looks eclectic. Bright eyes. Even a pure girl like Chi-Rin looked a little pale in front of Hexi. But Hexi was right. Angel resources are vast. They don't look down on the genetic resources of the Earth at all. And in the eyes of the angels, angel genes are sacred. How can they be given to her at will in order to increase the number of warriors? Each angel warrior is carefully selected by the angels in the major civilizations. Targeted selection like this. One more Earth or one less Earth doesn't make much difference at all. So, angels do not need the genetic resources of Earth. They just need justice in the hearts of Earthlings. But anyway, Hexie has always been curious about Yifeng. So, she offered to Angel Yan to come to Earth with Jishin. Just want to see. What is this male god who can be recognized by the treasure house of sacred knowledge? Hexie, isn't my Yifeng very charming? For the sake of everyone's sisterhood, how about I take you off at night? Lianbing looked at Hexie with a strange smile. Angels and demons dance in the night. This game must be very fun. The cold ice is already a little impatient. Morgana, shut me up. You are not allowed to speak unreasonably to master. Angel Juxin saw that Lianbing had said such vulgar words in broad daylight. He hurriedly stopped. Where is the child? Be careful that Yifeng will beat you up in the future. Facing the burning heart. Lianbing gave a sinister smile that didn't care at all. Start chattering. I think both of you master and apprentice are very good. Would you like to join our big family together? As long as it is a beautiful girl, my family will enjoy every night. Yifeng. Although Yifeng felt that the suggestion of cold ice was very reasonable. But now is the time when everyone is talking about serious things. How can you talk about such pleasant topics? Yifeng felt that he needed to bring the topic back. Let's get down to business first. Regarding the division of the earth, my attitude is consistent. Yifeng looked at Hexie's master and apprentice solemnly and said, I am the god of the earth, so I have the final say in the affairs of the earth. If you want to get a piece of the pie, you have to ask if the knife in my hand agrees. Yifeng pulled the ghost out. Inserted into the deck of the giant gorge. His attitude is clear. Now the earth has someone else in charge. It is impossible for him to allow the earth to be disturbed by those alien monsters and monsters. At this time, Pan Zhen finally successfully completed the report and returned. Devil King, my god Lina has suffered on earth after all, I Liang want the earth. Pan Zhen looked at the ghost in front of Yifeng, hesitated a little and said, my Liang wants 4 of the earths, shouldn't it be too much to become a theocracy? The Gluttons invaded the earth. His god Rina was the first great god to come to earth to support him. And Lina is the main god of the Blazing Sun civilization. Regardless of her real status in Liang. But the Lord God is not false. So, Pan Zhen felt that with Liang's hard work in this incident, it was completely deserved to have a 30% divine right. Of course. According to the plan that Pan Zhen and the angel negotiated in advance. Angels take 50%. The remaining 10% is a big deal to Styx. 40% theocracy. Yifeng smiled nonchalantly and looked back at Heifeng. Then, Yifeng frowned. Yifeng's demonic illusion small class used to be very targeted. Try 100 spirits. But, at this moment, although Heifeng's pupils were dilated and his eyes were dull, a smile appeared on his face. What does it mean? Punishment turned into reward. Then, Yifeng decisively interrupted the happiness of the Black Wind Demon. Heifeng, wake up. Check that Pan Zhongjun has passed the security check. Why didn't I see the monitoring report? Didn't it say that everyone who came to Earth from the outer domain had to undergo a non-sand sculpture nucleic acid test to be released? This. The Black Wind suddenly woke up. Not quite figured out the status though. But who is he, Black Wind Demon? The first smart devil of the demon civilization. Although he knew Yifeng was talking nonsense. But, Black Wind shrugged. The small eyeballs rolled around. In an instant, a tacit cooperation was struck. Xiaohei said that he was about to take General Pan for monitoring, but Pan Zhongjun's speed was too fast and he rushed over. He couldn't stop him at all. Chapter 415_Ice and Fire. S reply, nodded with satisfaction, gave him a small reward, and then looked at Pan Zhen and said, Pan Zhongjun, why don't you run again? You. Pan Zhen's brows stood upright. He just resisted his anger and completed the report outside the sky. What's the situation now? What kind of nucleic acid do you want him to go out to test again? What about trouble? And Although Pan Zhen didn't understand what the sand sculpture was. But Pan Zhen is definitely not. No testing needed at all. What, General Pan, are you trying to betray Liang again and fight my demon in your own name? Yifeng saw that Pan Zhen didn't seem to want to do a test. Then, he picked up the moral stick again and successfully stood on the commanding heights. Yifeng, don't be arrogant. Pan Zhen bit Kiba, gnashing his teeth, and looked at Yifeng. Exactly. Aunt can endure uncle, and uncle, he can't bear it. Pan Zhen dignifiedly guarded by the fierce sun. How can you be played by Yifeng over and over again? Then, in an instant, the terrifying stellar energy in Pan Zhen's body rose into the sky. Right fist raised. A force of the sun converged into a fire fist on Pan Zhen's fist. It seems like a star is floating. The top of Yifeng's head was pressed directly in the face of Pan Zhen's imposing attack. Yifeng's response to him was nothing more than a flat slash. Ultimate, S-Blade is wrapped in the ice demon energy that is yin and cold. Not only does it neutralize all the power of the sun created by Pan Zhen, he also directly chopped him out. If it weren't for Pan Zhen's best dark alloy armor for self-defense, this knife can definitely break the defense. Absolute Zero. Angel Hexy frowned at first, and then smiled. As expected of a male god known as the fantasy side, this skill is really unreasonable. Absolute Zero is the theoretical extreme low temperature. But want to reach such low temperature? All matter in an object must stop moving completely. Everything is silent. It was as if the end of time had been reached. Even if the angel civilization already has the power to control the void. But they still can't make absolute zero. So, Hexy could only use fantasy to understand Yifeng's strange behavior. Perhaps, in a fantasy world of a parallel universe, absolute zero can be reached easily. They don't need to be scientific, after all. Hexy, don't make such a fuss, our male king has a lot of secrets, you will understand it in the future. Lang Bing smiled lightly. She said that Yifengri will not have any secrets at all. Very frivolous. ... Night Wind here. He successfully forced Pan Zhen to retreat with one strike, and then slashed out with the second strike. Yifeng's second knife uses stellar energy. The endless high-temperature energy was absorbed into Guxia's blade. Although the blade does not burn. But this knife slashed on the shield that Pan Zhen Matsuri came out with, instantly melting Pan Zhen's shield, and even the dark alloy armor in front of him was damaged. If it weren't for Pan Zhen's quick response, flashed in time, this knife might have cut him off. When the time comes, it will be too late if people don't talk about martial arts. Not only can it produce cold air with absolute 0 degrees, but it can also produce such high temperature heat. She touched his chin and said, Yifeng's performance seems to be more powerful than when Yan first met him. Well, although Sister Yan also found out that Yifeng can convert the energy in his body into energy of various other attributes, but it does not have such an effect of yin and yang. Angel Juxin calmly analyzed and thought for a while. This blazing sun is completely opposite to the cold ice. Yifeng was able to control it at the same time. What is this called on earth? The angel's eyes narrowed. He glared at Lang Bing fiercely. But, she thought again. If the angel sisters really followed the calculations of the treasure house of divine knowledge, all married to Yifeng, that isn't what they do really dirty. This is too scary. God willing. ... On the Night Wind, Pan Zhen finally launched a big move. He mobilized the power of the sun in his body and mobilized it to ultimate. Subsequently, 100 Zhang Golden Dragon roared up, circling over the South China Sea. Sweep the 10 directions. The sea is boiling. If it weren't for Yifeng's use of the Devil One to put a cover on the giant gorge that could protect him. Now, the Juxia is estimated to have been melted by the heat of this golden dragon. At this moment, Pan Zhen stood in the air, with his hands on his back, golden aura surging up and down his entire body. The eyes kept flickering. It's like a big star spinning. Impressive. Yefeng, Pan asks you one last time. You really want me to do that sand? Pan Zhen forgot the name when he spoke of this place imposingly. Then, the scene became quite embarrassing for a while. Sand sculpture, that's called non-sand sculpture nucleic acid detection. Yifeng reminded Pan Zhen with a kind expression. Well, yes, it's the non-sand sculpture inspection. Pan Zhen raised his momentum again and looked at Yifeng seriously. Do you really think it is necessary for Pan to do the sand sculpture inspection? Heard here. Yifeng nodded solemnly. He actually wanted to deliberately make things difficult for Pan Zhen. But now, Yifeng suddenly felt that Pan Zhen was really a sand sculpture. Humph. Stubborn. Just let you experience what a real explosion is. Pan Zhen's voice fell. The golden flame dragon roared in the sky. Bring a burst of fire. Booming towards the night wind. In the face of Pan Zhen's explosive attack, Yifeng was planning to do a slow motion with his left hand and right hand, and at the same time burst out with Madara Sun and Bing Bing, to clean up Pan Zhen, the golden dragon. But the righteous Yifeng was worried that he would be mistaken for driving. After all, there are many girls here. So, he hesitated a little. It's between this hesitation gap. Pan Zhen's golden dragon really exploded. I saw thousands of golden lights collapse in the void, and the sky seemed to be torn apart directly. Du Kao was immediately dumbfounded. This moment. The night wind is unparalleled in seconds. Large Horizon formation arrangement. All the power of the explosion was transferred to outer space. Then, the skies over the South China Sea have once again returned to light and calm. As if nothing had happened. See this scene. Pan was stunned. What's happening here? It's not like that even if it's open, is it? When first Pan Zhen is a fool. Can you still consider the mood of other normal players? Chapter 416_Earth, are you hanging up? Pan Zhen, how dare you launch an attack of this scale on Earth? Is this what you call Guotaiminen? Yifeng's face sank and he said in a low voice, Shang Soldier Company. Enter the fighting state. Yifeng's voice fell. Demon Number 1 launched an attack with the wormhole in conjunction with the company of soldiers. Pan Zhen only felt a brief loss of strength in his entire body. At the same time, he saw a Zhe Xiaolun hysterically shouting, Demacia, rushing up. Although Zhe Xiaolun's anti-void silence has a very short effect on Pan Zhen. But in this brief hiatus, Zhu Huixin's cold light has arrived. Steady stab at Pan Zhen's Juhu apart. Although Xin Zhao didn't stab in it, this behavior made Pan Zhen furious. Just when Pan Zhen was about to aerate again. After Liang Bing merged and reconstructed, the big demon grabbed Pan Zhen with one hand. Lu Chuang's guillotine also fell on Pan Zhen's neck at the same time. At this time, Pan Zhen didn't even bother to aerate anymore. He hurriedly used all his strength to raise the defense of his neck to ultimate. Blocked Lu Chuang's blow. And at the same time, Sun Wukong stood below Pan Zhen, the iron rod held high and aimed at Pan Zhen. Shoot him, Rui Golden Mushroom Stick. Boom. Sun Wukong's wishful stick charged straight towards a certain part of Pan Zhen. The soldiers of the Shangbing Company also flocked. All types of attacks were greeted by Pan Zhen. This moment, Pan Zhen suddenly had a feeling of being called by a dog. So, this Earth is obviously a small planet in a remote place. But what happened to it? 1400 years ago, Pan Zhen drove their heavenly path Ling Xiao to the Earth to spread the heavenly path theocracy. As a result, the vitality of being beaten by a monkey was severely damaged. Now, Lai Yang's abilities in all aspects have improved by leaps and bounds. The major civilizations did not dare to provoke their blazing sun easily. But, this time when he came to Earth, he was scolded again and was completely skinless. Although the attack of the Shangbing Company was fierce, it could not break the defense. But if the energy inside Pan Zhen's body is not strong enough, then he is estimated to die directly in this wave. So, what the hell happened to this place on Earth? Is it so special? At this time, Pan Zhen finally remembered his ally, and he shouted at Hexi, "Hexi, King of Tianji, if you don't make a move at this time, when will you wait?" The reason why Pan Zhen only brought one Zan Tianji to Earth this time, it was because Pan Zhen felt that he still had allies of Angel and Styx. But did not expect. It's too late for the Styx. Angel Hexi also just watched the fun from the side. There's no virtue at all. Angel Hexi shrugged, walked to Yifeng and Lian Bing, and said, "It's almost enough. For a god like Pan Zhen, do you really expect to kill him on Earth? The battle between gods and gods is never a simple matter of who kills the other. Because I want to destroy the divine body of a great god like Pan Zhen. There must be enough force to be used. And mobilize such power. It will undoubtedly have a great impact on the surrounding environment. Especially a god like Pan Zhen. The dark energy in his body is extremely strong. If Yifeng really wanted to kill Pan Zhen on Earth, the fear of various natural disasters is indispensable. Okay, then let him go." Yifeng touched his chin. "Looks like he'll have to be like Carl in the future. Move the battlefield to another place before fighting. Otherwise, there is really no way to completely let go of hands and feet to do it." After Yifeng spoke, Lian Bing obediently let go of her demonic hand. "Release Pan Zhen." The company of soldiers also stopped the violent attacks on their hands without any hesitation. After all, everyone rarely has the opportunity to beat a great god so easily and comfortably. But Lu Chuang was very dissatisfied with the black axe in his hand. Doesn't it mean that this axe is very reliable for cutting gods? Today was the first time he used this axe to chop god. Why wasn't it hacked to death? And it didn't even break the skin at all. Am I out of breath? This can't be done. To this, Reina shrugged indifferently and explained, "After all, yours is an old technique from more than 10,000 years ago. We Liyang already have a corresponding Senpo, sage art plan. Oh no, it should be called a strategy guide. Is resistant to your axe. Technology is progressive. No technology can be invincible forever. This is normal. After all, everyone has to be reasonable." What the hell? After Lu Chuang listened to Lena's thoughtful explanation, I cried with a wow. That is to say, I, the god of war of Nuo Xing, who is called Brother Axe, can only chop salted fish and cannon fodder if you leave it here. Next. Under the shrewd command of Dukao, the chaos on the giant gorge has finally returned to normal. Pan Zhen was under the common persecution of angels, demons and his own master god. Finally completed the non-sand sculpture identification process as required. Identified. Pan Zhen was barely able to reach the level of sand sculpture. So he obtained the qualification to enter the earth temporarily. Then, there are theocratic conferences on how the theocracy of earth should be divided. It's finally officially starting. This theocracy conference was initiated by Mr. Pan, so let Mr. Pan speak first. Pan Zhen coughed twice, and then said with deep eyes, "It's the same sentence, my god Lena is suffering on your earth. Come on, it's not too much for my Liang to want 40% of the divine right. Actually, really makes sense." The blazing sun supported a main god of the earth, and also supported several sets of dark alloy armor. It's really a lot of effort. There should be nothing wrong with the point of theocracy. As for mentioning 40%, it is also for the convenience of bargaining. Finally, how can I give some points? But is he Yifeng a reasonable person? Since it was your god Lena who suffered, what does it have to do with you Pan Zhen? Yifeng gave Pan Zhen a dull look, then looked at Lena and asked, "Lena, you are the main god of Liang. You can express your opinion. The theocracy of the earth is put aside for now." Yifeng felt that he must clear up the matter of Liang's divine power to Lena first. Otherwise, how could the Lord never differentiate? This. Pan Zhen's eyes narrowed slightly, then he looked at Lena and asked, "My God Lena, should we ask for 40%? Pan Zhen winked at Lena desperately. He hoped Reina would understand. After all, this is all for the future development of Liang. Absolutely no child's play. But how could Dorena, the second goddess in her middle school, care about this? What Liang pursues is national peace and security. We are the most righteous civilization in the universe. Our assistance to the earth comes entirely from the kindness of our hearts. How can we ask for compensation afterwards? I, Liang, do not need the divine right of the earth. Not a cent need." Reina made an oath. Loud. It attracted bursts of cheers on the giant gorge. Liang Niu Beep. I, China, would like to be friends with Liang forever. Rena Goddess Niubi. Goddess Lena give us Feng Yi a monkey. Chapter 417 Pan Zhen's pig teammates. Rena listened to all kinds of friendly voices coming and going around. Her heart was warm. However, Sun Wukong felt a little confused. After all, why can Lena Hefeng give birth to monkeys? Is this a sand sculpture that got in without testing? My God Lena, if you don't want it at all. Isn't it appropriate? Pan Zhen frowned, walked to Lena, and whispered. Although the face is very important, but the inside is also very important. They have been interested in the earth since more than 1,000 years ago. Now, they finally took this opportunity to have the opportunity to divide the divine right of the earth. How can you easily let go? What's inappropriate about this? Lena didn't care about Pan Zhen's crazy reminder. She pursed her mouth and said, I don't care, I don't want it anyway. If you really want to fight for it, then you can discuss it with Yifeng in person. Go. Lena said. I have given up on behalf of Liang anyway. If you want to fight, then fight on your own behalf. My pee-pee shrimp is afraid of being beaten. Pan Zhen looked bitterly at the army of soldiers around him that were staring at him. Slightly pondered. Subsequently, Pan Zhen looked at Hexi and said, King Tianji, let's talk about the attitude of your angels. I think the angels have paid more on the earth than I have, so it's not too much to ask for 80% to 90%. Pan Zhen's thinking is very clear. Since their own pig teammates are not strong, then he would first provoke a conflict between angels and demons. Then he profited from it. But Angel Hexi's answer was completely unexpected to Pan Zhen. Our angels also give up the divine right of the earth. Hexi looked at Yifeng and said lightly, I hope you can show me a brand new demon civilization in the future. The angels lost a king of angels in the Battle of Earth. This is a very heavy loss. Is it something that the mere divine right can make up for? So, angels have no interest in the theocracy of the earth. Hexi is only interested in Yifeng. King Tianji, you. Pan Zhen frowned. He said that this is different from the plan we negotiated. In the end, this is the three of us teaming up to pit the devil. Or are the three of you teaming up to pit me, Pan Zhen? If we talk about giving, even giving us the entire earth will not be enough to make up for the loss of our angelic civilization. She said lightly, but if we are talking about the divine right of the earth, we angels don't need it at all, as long as the people of the earth can be just like now, just stick to the justice in your heart. Quote. Angel Hexi said. I only promise you to come to earth for this meeting. Who said I'd help you deal with demons? After all, I am a woman. The kind that can turn your face when you say it. Well, since the angels and the blazing sun are so righteous, I think it's fine for the earth to maintain the status quo. Yifeng smiled faintly. Let Qiangwei bring 3 glasses of Yuhi wine. And then, Yifeng and Lena raised their glasses together. A perfect stop to this theocratic meeting. This scene made Pan Zhen desperate. Really special code beeps the dog. Didn't we say we were going to deal with demons together? Why did the angel defect? Styx was absent, and his queen fell. In the end, Panjan became the target of being slapped in the face. What does it mean? Is there some weird halo here on Earth? Made me, Pan, a villain. ... At this time, in a distant mysterious galaxy, a quaint old-fashioned angel battleship is heading towards an aqua-blue planet. Deck center. Yi, the king of Tiangong, was sitting on the sofa hugging from side to side, wantonly on the two artificial female angels in his arms, asking for anything. And in the bow of this big ship, Carl was watching silently into the distance with Snow, who was revived by him. My God, Carl, I heard that Panjan was defeated on Earth, and Hexi also publicly stated that they would support the demon group represented by Yefeng, and the demons will probably rise from the Earth next. Snow looked grim. Deep eyes. After Yifeng beheaded Snow that day, he didn't destroy the genetic data Snow left there. So, it took Carl a few days to resurrect Snow again. But, after the resurrection, Snow's strength dropped by 30%. So, he was full of hatred for Yifeng. Don't worry, after we finish off this group of triangles that call themselves Madara, and then go all out to attack the Earth, catch Lianbing alive, and kill Yifeng, this is not much more efficient than your cooperation with Liang. Yi smiled frivolously. Carl's plan was to let Liang come forward to unite with the angels. Together, the three of them launched a theocracy on Earth to expel Yifeng. But, just when the plan was about to be executed, the king of Heavenly Palace, Yi, suddenly came to the door. Yi said that he wanted to form an alliance with Styx. Then, Carl, after some deliberation, he decided to give up the theocracy first and work with Yi instead. After all, turning an evil god like Yi into a war machine is far more stable than working with the Angel of the Sun. Now, Carl has loaded Yi with the latest Void Engine of the Styx edition. This Void Engine Carl calls it the Black Hole Engine. As the name suggests, it can create black holes out of thin air. Black Hole Engine has a powerful computing rate of 48 frames. Don't think this frame rate is not high. Actually, the Void Engine, which made the Devourer think that he could do it again, is only 4 frames of operation speed. So, Yi's 48 frames are really strong. Of course. Although Yi has become stronger. But since he was implanted in Carl's Void Engine, Carl naturally has a way to check and balance Yi. Yi himself knew this very well. But no way. After all, he, the Heavenly Palace King, has been outdated for too long. In addition, Ronning also hung up. If Yi wants to make a comeback and compete with Yifeng for the position of the Harem King, he must cooperate with Carl. By the way, you always talk about Madara and Madara, what the hell are they? Are they really that powerful? Do we need to surrender together? Yi asked casually. Madara is a triangle life. Although they were once defeated by angels in Kamigawa. But they crossed the smart explosion, singularity 1,000 years ago. To this day. Took them only 3,000 years to develop the brain to 43%. And you only used 10 Eternals to develop your brain to 45%. Speaking of which, Carl turned around. The effect of brain development on Kamigawa creatures is not particularly large. Because Kamigawa creatures rely too much on technological products. Just like many grown-up Earthlings. Obviously, many operations can be calculated by the brain. But actually, even if it is only 3-digit addition and subtraction, people on Earth have to take out a calculator to calculate. But triangles are different. Chapter 418_Nightwind's new mission. As the brain development of the triangle increases, they gradually become able to perform many things that technology can do through the flesh. Such as various energy fluctuations. For example, using wormholes to shuttle. Such as controlling gravity flight. Strictly speaking, this is somewhat similar to the Nightwind. Carl originally planned to continue to let this group of triangles develop freely. Carl is keen to see what shape the triangle will eventually evolve into. Will it attract the attention of void creatures? Can you defeat the void? But, to deal with the night wind, Carl decided to take this group of triangles as his subordinates in advance. Yi's spacecraft passed through the atmosphere of this water-blue planet. Randomly selected a sea area to land. Triangles' yearning for the sea is the same as humans' yearning for a beautiful opposite sex. As long as you see each other and have enough strength, you will have the urge to conquer. So, it is not difficult to find triangles. With the landing of the spaceship, it didn't take long. The water began to shake violently. A terrifying tsunami rose from the sky and rushed towards Yi's spaceship. But all the seawater was blocked by the spacecraft's protective system. Hee, these triangular beasts are really irritable. This is not acceptable. Yi smiled evilly. Stand in front of the big ship. Immediately after, the three-headed delta-shaped creature soared into the sky from below the surface of the water. Appeared in front of Yi and others. Angel, Inferior, Madara, Blue Ocean Empire, Leader, Badongdong, kill without mercy. Triangular creatures themselves do not speak the Kamigawa language. But their brains were developed to the extent they are now. With the unique gene of the triangle, they enable simple translation without technology. Although the content of the translation is not very precise, the general meaning has been expressed very clearly. That is, triangles and angels are mortal enemies. Kill without mercy. Hey, you say you triangles, what can I say about you? Yi pinched his waist. He shook his head and looked at them with mocking eyes. Look at you, all of you are long and sound like each other. Still so prejudiced against angels. This is not acceptable. Why don't you let me change your three views? And then take you together in the universe, hi. How is it? Yi's voice fell. He clenched his fists, put them on his waist, twisted his waist back and forth, put on a sassy posture, and sent out a 48-frame dark energy calculation attack, instantly knocking the three-headed Madara Molan to the sea. See this scene. Yi smiled disdainfully. Carl, is a weak chicken-like triangle really as strong as you say? Yi turned to look at Carl and asked, it feels just so, and it will be killed in one fell swoop. The three of them are just soldiers, and naturally they are not your opponents, King Yi. Carl walked out of the cabin slowly, raised his hand and released a ray of light. Come on, let's meet their king. Just when Carl and Yi were planning how to deal with Yifeng. Yifeng also received the latest sign-in task. Ding. Please go to the Pengu ruins to sign in, the time limit for this mission is unlimited. Read the details of this mission. Yifeng's brows furrowed. Go to the Pengu ruins to sign in. Is there really a Pengu civilization in this world? Yifeng touched his chin, looked at Liang Bing and asked, I heard Heifeng say that you have been to the ruins of many civilizations. Have you ever been to a ruin called Pengu? The ruins of Pengu, of course I've been there. Why are you asking this? Lian Bing looked at the night wind. His eyes suddenly became serious. The remains of Pengu are real. That place is very dangerous. Then, Space Principal Kirin was the first to discover the existence of the Pengu civilization. The reason why he named it Pengu. That is because, in the barren ruins without starlight, there are traces of hundreds of billions of stars being moved, and these traces form two big characters. Pengu. That place is quite dangerous. We explored the periphery of the Pengu ruins many years ago and almost hung there. While talking, Liang Bing looked a little scared and said, Don't look at all of us claiming to be this god and that god, but at the Pengu ruins, we are nothing. Hey, there is actually such a place in this world. Du Qiangwei gasped and asked with a look of surprise. Lian Bing, aren't you bragging again? I'm the dignified lord of Liyang. Why haven't I heard of this? Lena said with a little mouth twisted, a little unconvinced. Come on, that place is a really scary place and we don't usually talk about it. Lian Bing shook his head. The remains of Pengu are amazing and mysterious. There is no way for everyone to explore. Better to convince yourself to forget about this place. Otherwise, if you insist on exploring, you are likely to die. Well, do you still have the coordinates of the Pengu ruins? I'm going to go there, Yifeng said solemnly. Since the Pengu relics are real. So, such a sign-in is naturally worth the adventure of Yifeng. After all, in case the ultimate fear comes suddenly, they shouldn't be able to handle it now. What, are you going to the Pengu ruins? Lian Bing opened his mouth in surprise, but this time he didn't want to eat. Although it's just a ruin, there are organs everywhere in that star field. A lot of weird dark energy turbulence, very dangerous. Organ turbulence. Yifeng looked at Liang Bing thoughtfully and said, You're talking about a formation, right? Formation. Lian Bing touched his chin. There are indeed many strange force fields around the Pengu ruins. Some are shaped like a flag. Some are shaped like a gate. They are looming. If you leave. Completely incomprehensible with demonic technology. Can't touch either. But if you use the concept of fantasy side to understand it, maybe it will be easier. I'm going to see it anyway, but I'll just go by myself. Yifeng rarely showed a solemn appearance. If the Pengu ruins are really dangerous, Yifeng didn't plan to take the girls on an adventure that day. After all, he has his own system of protection. Shouldn't be a problem. Fog grass. Are you still talking about the sun? Just because you often take us to play games and eat chicken, how can I let you go to the Pengu ruins alone? Lian Bing stepped forward and hugged Yifeng. She is the guardian angel of Yifeng. Not to mention a mere adventure. She can do anything for Yifeng. Yes, Lord Feng, we're going with you too. Qiren Wanda also leaned on Yifeng. Eat chicken together. Of course, we have to bear the danger together. It's that simple. Chapter 419 _ The Mysterious Pengu Civilization. But Yifeng hesitated. It's alright if you go with cold ice. After all, Liang Bing is the 4th generation divine body that is good at time and space. But other girls really don't need to send people's heads. There's nothing wrong with it, I have to go with you anyway. Liang Bing looked at Yifeng and said, Also, I know that Hexi is also very interested in the Pengu ruins. Would you like to take Hexi with you? The remains of Pengu are full of mystery. Because Liang Bing had to deal with angels in these years, he had long lost interest in Pengu ruins. But Hexi certainly didn't. She has a keen interest in any phenomenon she does not understand. Okay, then you can contact Hexi. Yifeng nodded, and if Liang Bing could offer to pull Hexi to join the team, it meant that Liang Bing really thought that the Pengu ruins were dangerous. I am obediently at home waiting for me to come back and bring you chickens together. Quote. ... A few days later, Yifeng and the three came to the outermost periphery of Pengu ruins together. This is a very vast, busted galaxy. But the stars here have long since been destroyed. The entire galaxy is pitch black. Without any starlight. It can only be represented by the word barren. If they hadn't sensed the dark energy emanating here, the remains of Pengu are simply impossible to observe with the naked eye. Yifeng, I didn't expect you to be interested in Pengu ruins. When Hexi first learned that Yifeng was going to the Pengu ruins, she herself was very surprised. Because the Pengu ruins are too dangerous. Like her and Geisha who have lived a few eternals have nothing to worry about. After all, dead is dead. That is another kind of relief. But Yifeng is only over 300 years old. The good days have only just begun. Why did he come to explore the ruins of Pengu? Is my judgment of him one-sided? Does he have great pursuits? Isn't his goal to be a harem king? Have you heard of the 3 great joys in life? Yifeng smiled and shrugged. Drink the strongest wine, hold the most beautiful girl, and run the most dangerous dungeon. This is my life goal. Although Yifeng came here because of system tasks. But enter a world so mysterious and full of dangers. It can also make Yifeng feel very excited. And the reward for Yifeng's last sign in mission was called Penggu Washuang. Maybe he will also find some special opportunities here. Hee, that's good. Just based on your words, I will accompany you to break through the ruins of Penggu. She smiled lightly, took out 3 glasses of spirits, and distributed them to Yifeng and Liangbing. Cheers. The 3 toasted and drank together. Then, under the leadership of Hexi, everyone finally entered the outer field of Penggu ruins. Hexi and Geisha have entered the Penggu ruins many times to explore. They have already found many relatively safe roads. But even so, they still can't penetrate into the real Penggu ruins. The force field here is chaotic, there is no light source at all, communications are disrupted, and there are crises everywhere. But Geisha and I have left some special marks on this route. You must follow me closely. Otherwise, in case some set defense program is triggered. This is very dangerous for us. Understood, don't worry. Then, Hexi leads the way. Yifeng and Lianbing followed closely behind He. Have to say, the Penggu ruins do make people feel a little uncomfortable. The force field is chaotic here. From time to time, energy turbulence is encountered. This made Yifeng and the others not dare to move at a particularly fast speed, so they could only follow Hexi carefully and explore forward. System, where is the sign in location? Haven't I already arrived at the Penggu ruins? Why haven't the sign in task been triggered yet? Yifeng asked the system in his mind. Do I have to go deep in to trigger a check-in? That would be too pitiful. Because judging from Hexi's words, they had never penetrated into the Penggu ruins at all. Don't make trouble, host, this is just the outside of the Penggu civilization, you haven't even reached the gate yet. The system gave Yifeng a valuable reminder. This is the outside. Yifeng frowned. This Penggu civilization is really weird. I don't know what kind of civilization they were in their heyday. Hexi led Yifeng and Liangbing to fly slowly in a dark environment. She walked through the darkness according to some familiar rules. Fly all the way. They were not in danger of getting too troublesome. But it took about 2 days to fly. Yifeng still failed to trigger the sign in task of Penggu civilization. That is to say, they have not really stepped into the scope of the Penggu civilization until now. Finally, on the 3rd day, Hexi stopped. She urged the special starlight that had been prepared in the body in advance. Light up the surrounding space. Then, an area that gave people a strange feeling was presented in front of Yifeng and Liangbing, completely blocking their way forward. This is the furthest distance that Geisha and I have been able to explore, but what lies behind it, we can't imagine. She looked at the dreamlike area in front of him. Sighed. We have also tried many different paths, but in the end this is the case, which is why we later gave up the exploration of the Penggu civilization. Yifeng and Lianbing looked at each other. The sight in front of me was like a dream. Really too weird. Because everything in front of you seems like a 2-dimensional world. I can't believe that the 2-dimensional world actually exists. What terrible things happened to the Penggu civilization back then? Lianbing swallowed his saliva dumbfounded. Although people sometimes talk about 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional and 4-dimensional. But, except for this 3-dimensional world in which everyone lives, no one has ever seen a real world of other dimensions. But now, they saw it. A 2-dimensional space that should be spherical surrounded the entire Penggu civilization. Blocked their way. A dimensionality reduction attack. Could this be the reason for the collapse of the Penggu civilization? Or is this the means that the Pengu civilization used to defend against the enemy? Yifeng also frowned. The 3D world collapses into 2D. This is called dimensionality reduction strike in some science fiction. The collapse of the three-dimensional world into 2 dimensions is not what we imagined, and reality has become a cartoon. Rather, 3-dimensional objects lose the concept of volume. Becomes a pure plane. But the 3-dimensional space being 2-dimensional is not an infinitely thin piece of paper. It is an unspeakable spatial structure. Very horrible. Chapter 420 Why are you so good? In front of this strange and unpredictable 2-dimensional barrier. Cool Ice fingers lightly. A dark silver chain penetrated along her fingertips and hit the 2-dimensional barrier. However, dark silver is known as the hardest metal in the universe. But when it touches the 2D barrier, it is directly 2D. Then Lianbing instantly disconnected her from the dark silver chain. Terrified. Mist grass. If we were hit by such a terrifying attack, wouldn't it be a miserable death? Lianbing said with a shudder. In the face of this dimensional attack. But it's not something that can't be solved by a divine body or a divine body. Volume is lost. They have all become paper people. Then the god body has a meaning of hair. When Geisha and I explored this place, we didn't dare to go deeper. We retreated along the original road and changed thousands of entrances, but in the end, we were all blocked by this 2-dimensional space. He/she shook his head. As the night wind said, the entire Pengu civilization was either completely trapped by some kind of 2-dimensional attack, or the Pengu civilization had mastered this 2-dimensional special defense method. But judging from the final result of the entire Pengu star field, more likely to be attacked. Would you like to try attacking with light energy? Lianbing touched his chin and said thoughtfully. After all, we can see this 2-dimensional space, which means that it cannot swallow light. What a fool. Yifeng shook his head, touched the top of Lianbing's head, and smiled. You can see things, don't you think Geisha and Hexi can't see them? Ah, this. Lianbing smiled naively and said indifferently, that's right. Hexi watched them throw the dog food. I couldn't help sighing. Then explained. You can see the 2-dimensional world here now, because Geisha and I have developed this special light, which can help you show the general appearance of this space. The photons do not really touch the front. A 2-dimensional barrier, otherwise it would also be 2-dimensional. Quote. 2-dimensional space is like dark energy. Invisible to the naked eye. And 2-dimensional space is scarier than dark energy. Because even warriors with super genes cannot sense the existence of the 2-dimensional world. At first, Geisha and Hexi also went through 9 deaths. Finally discovered the mystery here. Is there really no way to pass through this 2-dimensional space? Yifeng frowned, looked at Lianbing thoughtfully, and said. Didn't Heifeng say that you have also been to the Pengu ruins? Why haven't you heard that you have encountered such a 2-dimensional space? Could it be that the path you take is the only entrance? Judging from the route that Hexi took them deep into here, there is indeed something similar to the form of a magic circle outside the Pengu ruins. So, since it is a magic circle, could it be the only way to survive? Ah, this. Lianbing touched her nose awkwardly and said, we actually haven't gone so far at all. Don't look at Hexi taking them all the way without any danger. But Lianbing and the others were reclaiming wasteland back then. There are dangers everywhere along the way. In devilish style. In the end, it was naturally a strategic retreat from the heart. Where will such depth be explored? After all, is it bad to live? Why are you fighting for it? Okay, anyway, since we've all come, we have to try to see if we can forcefully break through. Try again, Lianbing. Yifeng's eyes sank. He wanted to try it hard with Gush, but he was afraid that if Gush was also swallowed, then this wave would be a big loss. Good. Lianbing made a volley with his right hand. A fiery flame crashed directly into this two-dimensional space. But the flames that were enough to directly destroy a building were actually two-dimensionalized directly by this area, without causing any explosion effect at all. It's useless. Geisha and I have experimented with various energy attacks, and they will all be two-dimensionalized by the barriers here, completely unsolvable. Hexy shook his head. If this place can be forcibly broken open, then they would have broken. Why wait till now? If conventional energy doesn't work, then, Lianbing suddenly looked at Yifeng and asked, Yifeng, what about the energy called chakra in your body? Will you try it? Yifeng had already told Lianbing and the others about chakra. But they all have direct access to highly efficient dark energy through their genes. Who would bother to practice chakra? And practicing chakra depends on blood. Otherwise, it is easy to hollow out the body. The girls just don't care. Good. Nightwing nodded. Then slowly hand seal with both hands. Cadent fire style, great fireball jutsu. Boom. Grand fireball with a diameter of 900 meters was spit out by the night wind. The bombardment hit the two-dimensional barrier ahead. Huh. Hexy suddenly let out a surprise. This time, Yifeng's fireball has also been two-dimensionalized. However, there was a slight tremor on the surface of the two-dimensional barrier. What does this mean? This shows that Yifeng's attack is different from theirs. It's so fierce, Yifeng. Do it again. Don't stop. Lianbing was pleasantly surprised. It's all fireballs. Why is your fireball so good? Aren't our fireballs incapable of killing people? Very puzzling. Then, shadow clone techniques with the encouragement of Lianbing and Hishi. All kinds of ninjutsu greeted them together. Although the effect is better than Lianbing Hexy's attack. But the results are still unsatisfactory. Although your so-called ninjutsu can make two-dimensional barriers shake, they will eventually be two-dimensionalized. Lianbing touched his chin and thought, why is this? What is the scientific principle here? What? Cold Ice thinks. Want to figure this out. She must first find out the science behind the phenomenon. Yifeng, since the ninjutsu you use is all transformed from the chakra in your body, can you fuse all the energies of these different attributes together? Hishi looked at Yifeng thoughtfully and said, wind, fire and thunder. According to Yifeng, they restrained each other and gave birth to each other. So, if the 5 elements can be unified, what effect will that have? This is. Yifeng touched his chin. The pure unity of the 5 elements cannot be achieved. But the unity of yin and yang and the 5 elements is indeed achievable. Nightwind's weakened Gudodama, truth-seeking ball, can do just that.